Why aren't you listening to me? Doesn't anybody ever listen to me? Listen to me? Listen to me? Listen to me? Blame yourselves for this fucking word salad that I just spit all over the goddamn plate. This is all your fault. You and I like me. That's it. I work under the cover of darkness because I don't need the rest of society to look in my eyes and know that is a bad person. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast, making sure the wavy lines are working, and we're bringing you the sound of my voice across the United States and possibly into Canada. Canada loves me, right? I think that's where I should go, is Canada. Canada's always sending me notes about how much they love me. Canada en masse. It's literally, I get notes. I'm like Santa. There's like a sack of mail that comes to my house that says, signed Canada. Canada, you love me. Someday I'll be there. Someday I'll go to Toronto. There's a Toronto page that wants to bring me there, and that's something. Oh, dude. All right, let's get this. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. First of all, by the way, let me go ahead and drop this on you. Was that UPS at the door? FedEx just came to the door and had a package for our friend Lily. I'm sitting here ready to do the show. I've been trying to get the show away for like 40 minutes.
Oh, bullshit.
And all of a sudden I'm sitting here and then like Lily's phone starts barking. She says, that's an alarm. Really? You set an alarm for podcast night? Good. I'm glad that's going to go off in the middle of the goddamn show. And then she also got the phone ringing and she had to answer that because some guy's thigh called her. Turn your goddamn phone off. All right, so that's a couple of interruptions, so I can't start the show. So I have to sit here and stare into space, do a goddamn stew look, and just look up in the air. And then sure enough, we're sitting here, and I'm ready to do the show again. Knock, knock on the front door. And it's not a joke, unfortunately. It's not a who's there. And nobody was going to say, Orange, I'm glad I didn't tell you about banana. It's a real person coming to the goddamn door. So she has to go answer it. And I guess she got a box from Amazon. And I'm an idiot, all right? So when I'm sitting in the kitchen, she opens the front door, and I hear she goes, wow, that's a big box. And the best part of it is she's wearing a tank top with no bra, all right? She's like at a tank top with no bra and shorts, and she opens the door, and imagine being the FedEx guy, all right? You're just like in this dingy, horrible fucking building, just praying you don't get stabbed in a stairwell on the way back down to your truck. And then you knock on the door and you open it up and, hey, there's a stripper in a tank top with no bra and hard pierced nipples in your face. And she just goes, wow, that's a big box. I mean, that's a porno, right? That's like the first 5 minutes of a porno movie. You immediately just start humming bow, chicka, bow, bow and walk in, don't you? If you're the FedEx guy, you don't even wait to be invited in. You just pull out your cock and go, yeah, special delivery, right? I would. I mean, that's what I would do. And I got to be honest, you know that FedEx guy, like he's talking to her and she's like, Happy New Year, of course, on January 9th. And she closes the door and I guarantee he's still standing in the hallway like Belushi after the ladder tipped over at Animal House and he landed on his back. He's like, That's what that guy's doing. He's out in the hallway now. And I am betting if I worked at FedEx, I don't know. All right, let's put it this way. I don't know if I was that guy, if I would hog you for myself. Or if I would spread it with everybody else in the office. But if I'm you, I expect a ton of like Miss Knox now for the rest of the fucking month. Like all these like, and you open it up and they're like, oh yeah, I have a package. And they're like, oh, I think I brought it to the wrong building. Well, that's unfortunate. Hey, do you want me to, you need a shoulder rub? I mean, because we do that too at FedEx. I don't know if you're aware of that. We give a shoulder rub. Yeah, and then it gets around to the UPS guys. If I was literally, there'd be just a conga line of delivery guys knocking on your door as you keep opening up in a tank top. Wow, you're a big boy. That's a big box. Could you just say it slower? Say it slower for me. I'm in the truck all goddamn day. Just say it slower for me, please. I'm seeing people in offices and secretaries that suck. I'm finally here in the middle. Because again, they have to think you're a knockover because you're in the middle of some shit building, you know what I mean, in Hollywood, and you're wearing like no clothes. God damn it. I would be here fake delivering to you all the goddamn time. Pizza, I don't give a fuck what it was. Literally every pizza guy, anyone on the planet who finds out about this joint, there must be some website like where all the delivery guys get together and just talk about the hottest chicks and the best places to go. Because when I was delivering pizza, there was a chick in Lyle, and we always knew her address. It was just like, I only delivered pizza because I worked in the pizza joint, but I would pick up shifts if I needed cash. So I would fill in. Sometimes Don needed me to help out, and I would fill in for a guy. But there was a chick who lived over off of Maple, and we all knew about her, and we all knew that she was fucking sharp and hot, and she wore very little. In the winter or the summer, it didn't fucking matter. She one time answered the door. I went there in the winter, and she answered the door in a bikini and a wrap, like a sarong wrap, like that. You know, like when people tie a thing around their waist, So she had a bikini bottom on, but I couldn't see it because she had the sarong tied around it and a bikini top. And this is in motherfucking February in Chicago, or in Lisle, which is near Chicago. And there's snow on the ground. It's like fucking... So all I could think was that she probably had a hot tub in the back or something like that. Or she just wanted to debut her outfit every time some delivery guy came by. I get no fucking clue. But she did it all the time. We would always swap these stories about her. She'd be in short shorts or fucking, like a cheerleader sweater. And it was just like, yeah, let's do it. I am fucking... She had a trunk full of outfits to show to the delivery guys. And because it's like... It sounds like a joke. It sounds like a ridiculous goof and it's a porno fantasy. But this chick, we all knew every time you would get that address, they would fight over who the fuck was going to bring it to her because you wanted to see what she was going to be wearing that time. Because she was into it, man. She was absolutely into it. There was no doubt. She wasn't going to fuck us. We knew that. It was just... But eventually... Well, we hoped she'd jump the fence eventually. I mean, yeah, I should take that back. We didn't know that. All right? We were pretty sure that was the case, but in the back of our head, every single time, we were just like, this will be the day she grabs us by the jacket and drags us inside. And then we go up the stairs and we get locked into a room with a bunch of other milkmen. That's a Monty Python sketch. All right. Hi, folks. I'm doing a lot of talking. And now Lily got a text. And now I have to wait for her to go ahead and bang out this text. Go ahead. Here, no, answer your text. Go right ahead. I'll wait. It's fine. You don't have to pay attention. What do you literally, you don't. Just go ahead and bang out your text. Why are you giving me a mean face? You give me a mean face. But because your phone, you're attached to it at the hip now. You're like crazy Joe Business. It's like, dude, go ahead. Go ahead. Answer your text. Who's it from?
I'm not telling you. It's not your business or theirs.
I know who it is.
Who?
Someone who doesn't know what you do on Wednesday afternoons.
It was actually a mass text, so I don't think they care.
And you were answering a mass text? That's how little you think of this goddamn show? You were typing. You were typing with your thumb. And that's when I said, oh, you got a text? And then you went, what? And you put the phone down. You were answering. Oh, yeah, stick your tongue out. Why not? Just, take a... Yeah. Is that as far as you can get your tongue out?
Nope. I'm just not giving you all of it because I don't like you that much.
You Milton Berled me with your tongue? That's not good. Pulled out just enough to win. That's a depressing state. Look it up, folks. All right. So, hey, hi. How are you? Here's a question I have for you folks. Here's something I'll ask you. Do you listen to me on your phone? You listen to me on Stitcher? Do you plug me into your iPod vagina and listen to me through Stitcher? If you do, tell me. Some people have already told me, and that's fine. I got your opinion. And then I wrote Stitcher. Did I tell you this story? Fucking Stitcher. Because I heard that Stitcher has like partners and you get money. And, by the way, fuck. It just fell out of my head. Dudes. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. No, it's my fucking fault. Dude, I'm miserable right now, folks. I will tell you I'm miserable. And it's because I forgot my earbuds. I forgot my particular tweakedaudio.com/40 earbuds at my house. So now I'm sitting here. I'm wearing Lily's tweakedaudio.com/40 earbuds, and she has tiny, tiny ear canals. As small as her tongue is, that's how her ear canals are even much smaller. But I'm doing the show with like fake earbuds now, and I feel ridiculous, and I don't feel the same, and I don't hear myself. So if I'm a little out of sorts, that's why. I apologize. That's why. I'm never out of sorts. What are you fucking talking about? And I'm sitting here chugging a protein shake, dude. I'm just not. I'm trying to make this happen for you folks. I've been sitting here long enough, and then as I went to start the show, of course, we've got 900 interruptions. You can keep flipping me off all you want. It doesn't matter to me. That's fine. You work for me, goddammit. All right. What was I saying? Oh, so get this, folks. Speaking of texts and Lily with her text, I got a text. This is fucking bullshit. I read this 2 weeks ago. All right, I read a guy who wrote a Tumblr blog about this 2 weeks ago, and I laughed because I was like, "Well, that's never gonna fucking happen to me." But I said, "Of course, it's what companies do because they're assholes." And then, sure enough, I get this fucking text, and now I just have to think that they're just doing it to everyone. There's no. I have AT&T as my cell phone company. I don't want them. All right. When I lost my phone in Philadelphia and I went to get my new phone, I was going to get Verizon. Everything I read said Verizon. I had much better reception, but Verizon would not allow me to get unlimited data. So I looked at it and it worked out to where my fucking phone bill would have been like because I have 2 lines, but just for my line, it would have been like $135 a month as I was doing the data and all that bullshit. So I was like, man, I can't do that because then, like I said, I would still have Karen's phone, which is another $75, and it just seemed crazy. So I shined it, and because AT&T, I still had unlimited data, and I'm grandfathered in, like they won't take it away from you. So I signed up for them, and that was fine. Well, like a month ago, I read a guy wrote a blog, and he was furious, and he said that what it is AT&T is sending notes to people who have unlimited data, and they're saying you are in the top 5% of all data users, so we're going to throttle your the way you use data. And he's like, I don't download music. I don't do anything. It's just I have a cell phone and I use it to go online and whatever and send emails. He goes, there's no fucking way I'm in the top 5%. There's no way. And he was furious about it. He's like, fuck you, AT&T. I paid for this, particular thing. How the fuck can you take it away from me now? Oh, we're not taking it away from you. We're just telling you that we're going to slow you down. If you'd like to go to a tiered plan, that would probably work better for you because then you won't get slowed down. It's like, it's just them fucking you in the ass. And I read it and I was like, well, that's not going to happen to me because I never download music. I don't do any, I don't do any of that shit. And sure enough, yesterday I got a fucking text telling me I'm in the top 5% of all data users. It's not going to affect me this month, but if it does next month, they'll tell me and they'll throttle me down and all this different shit. And it's like, I'm trying to figure out what I do that counts against it. Like are apps, when you use apps, does that count as being online? Because it said I should start using Wi-Fi. But I don't, again, all night I'm at work. I don't have fucking Wi-Fi, but it's not like I'm on the phone all night, but I will still check Facebook and Twitter and all that shit. I don't know. I'm not downloading anything. I'm not doing, I'll be on the web looking, but they're calling that dude, and they wonder why people show up with guns. You give them one thing, they use it, and then you take it away. And you, under some weird false pretense or some bullshit, you invent rules as you go along after you got me to sign up for the motherfucking thing. And you wonder why people show up at your office with automatic weapons. Why? Why are you surprised? Why are you surprised when someone comes in and murders everybody there? There's no other way to get out of this. Because every phone call, all right, I would say this, AT&T, motherfuckers, I know you're listening. I have an AT&T home line and AT&T internet. All right? I have to. All right, I would love to get different internet, but my building is old and the wires don't support like super fast internet. Otherwise, that's what I would have. And I've had a landline forever since I moved here. I don't need it anymore, but I like to have it because I don't like giving my cell phone out to companies and stuff when I sign up for stuff. So I give them my landline and then they can just ring into fucking eternity and get answered by my answering machine. But AT&T, so I have this thing and I called up 8 months ago. And I said, listen, what can you do to fix this so it doesn't cost this much? Because otherwise I'm going to bail. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for me to be paying this every month. So they did some numbers. They crunched it. They go, you know what? I can get your bill down to $40 a month. And I said, okay, great. Let's do it. So they went ahead and did it. And then the next month, my bill was $69. And I called them and I go, hey, there's this weird charge on here for like an extra, $20 or whatever. And they go, oh, no problem. I see here the notes. We'll take care of it. This is 8 months ago. Every month I get my bill and every month it's on there. Every fucking month. And I've called 8 times. And every month my bill comes and I pay the entire bill except for $18.05, which is this charge. And then I wind up, they always send me a thing that says this amount is extremely overdue of $18.05. And I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm never paying it. If I do, I will pay you in ammunition. That's what I will fucking pay you with. All right? I will find $18.05 worth of bullets, and I will fucking spray down your office with them. That's what you will get, okay? I don't fucking understand it. Huh? We'll say it again?
One bullet.
Good. Good. I'll shoot. Who's in charge? Who's the head of AR? I got $18.05 for him because he keeps bothering me through my fucking email for it. And then they send those threatening letters for I just paid. And the thing is, they said my bill was going to be $40 or whatever the fuck. My bill every month is like $89.80. And then plus the 18, so I get a bill for like $106. It's like, what the fuck just happened? Oh, well, they meant $40 for phone and then $35 for internet every month, plus fees, plus charges, plus this, plus that. Fuck you, $40 for phone. I barely make any phone calls. God damn it. But I'm not here to whine about my finances, folks. Yeah, I'm not here to whine about that. Although I'm fine. I guess, dude, look, all right, let me go ahead and say this, all right? I love my wife. All right, we know all that, right? Okay? Yes? Dudes, I don't understand. There's a dollar store above my house. It's on the same block. And I don't. When I go to Mex's house in Chicago, I've talked about this before. I'll go to the store and I'll buy stuff that's like name brand stuff, and he makes fun of his wife because she'll buy other food that's not name brand. But then when I come to town, like I was out for Thanksgiving, and they had like Hidden Valley Ranch, and they handed it to me, and they go, "We bought this just for you," like because they know what a fucking asshole I am about name brands and eating the right food. Because I don't want ranch, just generic ranch with a picture of a cow on it. I need Hidden Valley Ranch if I'm eating ranch dressing. That's it. And the thing is, I don't even eat ranch dressing anymore. But when I do, it's that. But my fucking wife has discovered the food section of the goddamn 99-cent store, and she's bringing home again these Toreador beans and all this bullshit. It's like I don't want any of it. She found pomegranates. She's buying me pomegranates there, and she bangs the seeds out of them because I used to buy pomegranate seeds in a package, which is great. You know what I mean? But that's $4.99. Well, she's industrious, and she found this. She found pomegranates for $1. And then she takes them home and she cuts them up, and then you bang out until you get the seeds out. And then it's like it's fresher and it's better for you, which is good. So that's a good 99-cent store. But dude, I woke up yesterday and I'm in my fridge. I went in my fridge. You know what's in my fridge, folks? This is in my fridge right now, and I can't believe it. Flank steak. Why the fuck is flank steak in my fridge, folks? I don't eat flank steak. I'm not a hobo. I'm not cooking anything on a coat hanger over an open fire in a garbage can. Why the fuck is there flank steak in my fridge? That's too chewy, and I don't want it. I don't want it. And so I looked at her and I go, "What is this?" She goes, "Oh, I found this great recipe for flank steak with it's marinated and it's fajitas." I don't fucking care. I don't want it. I don't eat flank steak. But it was the best part was I was at the desk when I saw it. She got up and she's in there and she goes, "I thought I was gonna make those flank steak fajitas tomorrow." And I go, I don't eat flank steak. Cube steak, flank steak, anything that's not real steak, anything that just uses steak in its name, like fuck you imposter steak. I don't eat imposter steak. Sirloin, T-bone, ribeye, filet mignon, those are steaks. Don't give me this other bullshit. It's like when someone makes a portobello steak. Fuck you, that's a mushroom, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck if it's shaped like a steak. I don't give a fuck if you have to use a knife to cut it and it's meaty. That's a goddamn mushroom. It came out of the fucking ground. That's mold. That's a motherfucking fungus. That's what you just gave me and called it a steak. Fuck you. Infuriating. Don't try to fool me. I'm fat. I know what food is. Flank steak. Just because you threw it on there, it's flank. It's motherfucking flank. It's haunch. That's what you're serving me as haunch. Holy shit. Upper thigh. I mean, I'm very close to cow balls at that point. Literally, flank steak is very close to cow balls. And I'm sure those are next on the agenda. But I'm sure they'll have some weird special thing like pants steak. That's what they'll be called. Pants steak. What's this? Balls. So flank steak, she's making fucking flank steak, but the best part was, again, I was at the desk and she was in the kitchen. She goes, "I thought I was gonna make that flank steak yesterday or today, tomorrow," and I turn around and I went right to YouTube, and I searched for David Letterman in the show Cabin Boy. All right, there's a movie called Cabin Boy, and Letterman's in it for like 2 minutes, and he talks to Chris Elliott, and I pulled it up. Literally, I just Googled David Letterman Cabin Boy, and it was on YouTube, and I got right to it at the end. I fast forwarded. I just looked at her. I go, "Come here." And she walks over to the desk, and I go, "My friend Dave, I think will say it best." And I hit play, and he goes, "Hey, don't let him talk you in any of that flank steak bullshit. Try the London broil." And I paused it, and I just looked at her, and I go, "Exactly. YouTube tells you all you need to know about how I feel about dinner tomorrow." But also the thrifty part of me, I can't, because dudes, it looks like it's a football, a flank steak. Like it's a big round fucking hunk. It's huge. So I can't just tell her to throw it away now. So I'm like, quit fucking buying shit like that for me. I don't want it. I don't want it, for fuck's sake. Don't get it. I don't get it. Look, our money situation is our money situation, whatever the fuck, that's fine. I mean, but it's like I said, I'm not going to die going, "Phew, I'm glad Visa's paid off." All right, that's not going to be it. I'm going to die going, "Haha, I have a Vitamix." That's what I'm going to die doing. That's how I am. I'm sorry. Look, I'm current on all my bills. If I start falling behind and all that shit, then we got a problem. But motherfucker, so Christmas came. And then there was Christmas gifts involved, of course. And I got my wife some nice stuff for Christmas. I tried to, because again, my wife loves Christmas. All right, that's the thing. She loves Christmas. And I like Christmas because she loves Christmas. So that's fine. And everybody should have to open something on Christmas. I don't give a fuck how poor you are. I don't give a fuck if you got to buy a cat toy and wrap it up and give it to somebody, and then they can open it up and they can give it to a cat later. I don't give a shit, because then it's like the gift, just anything at all. If you can find something and buy it for them. If you just wrapped a box with a note in it that said, I love you. You know what I mean? Which is, again, by the way, don't ever do that. That's not cool. That's not good. That's the kind of shit you do when you're fucking, 21 and living in a hovel with a radiator that doesn't work. That's fucking barefoot in the park bullshit. Don't do that. All right. But what I'm saying is the point is give somebody a box to open on Christmas. They deserve it. All right. They should be able to open. Everybody should have to open something on Christmas. So I don't, by the way, on the opposite end of that, I don't give a fuck about Christmas. Don't buy me anything. I don't care. I don't want anything. I don't. I really don't. I spend all year buying shit that I need, and I don't need to get anything else on Christmas. I feel like I've done this show. I feel like I've talked about this a million times. And Lily's nodding, so I'll stop. All right. No, it's okay. You're right. I can't do it. What was I talking about before? There's no point to go into this. Stitcher. I'll talk about Stitcher because it's like, again, there's no point in talking about it. So Stitcher, I was supposed to contact them because they supposedly have partnerships with the people that they use on the internet, and I found them online, and because look, all right, Stitcher reached out to me the first time I ever when I heard about them when they became a thing. Someone told me they were listening to my show on Stitcher, so I wrote Stitcher, and I'm like, hey, what? Who are you? And why are you using my show on your web application without asking me? And then they wrote me with this long thing about being partners and being together, and there was money to be made, and all these sponsors and all this bullshit. And so I was like, all right. I wrote them back and I said, I'm unclear on what this is, but why don't you explain more to me? And then that was it. Our correspondence ended. It kind of disappeared into the ether. And I looked through my email to try to find it, and I can't fucking find it for the life of me because after the crashes, I don't know if it just got erased, whatever the fuck. But I've never heard from Stitcher, but they're still using my fucking show. And I'm all about, look, I know that guys like Chris Hardwick and Scott Aukerman and guys from their shows, they've taken their shows off of Stitcher because they feel that Stitcher is making money off of their product and not giving them any. And that's fine. That's totally cool. I get that. But unfortunately, those are big shows. My show's not big. I need ears right now, so I don't mind using Stitcher, but I'd still like to try to get in on the partnership thing and maybe the sponsorship thing and make whatever money, or I don't know how it works. So I sent out in the email blast a few weeks ago. I've sent it out a couple of times asking you guys how you feel about Stitcher, if you use it, if you don't, and I got your feedback. So I went ahead and contacted Stitcher, and I wrote them and I was like, hey, I had a long correspondence with you guys early on when you first started, and I'd really like to find out exactly who I need to speak to and what I need to do about being a partner and all that. And they wrote me back a note. And when I say they wrote me back a note, I mean that they hit a button on their keyboard that said send form letter to asshole, and then they hit send, because it is just the most impersonal fucking note I've ever received from a corporation. Just like, dear internet occupant. And there was nothing about partnerships and nothing about money and nothing about us being friends together and trying to grow the audience. It was nothing at all. It was basically just like, who are you and why are you contacting us? But there's many exciting opportunities. If you have a podcast, why don't you check out our website? Like, it was just some bullshit form letter. It's like, hey, you ass fucks. You've been using my motherfucking show for weeks, months, maybe even a year at this point. So you could reach out to me and answer my fucking email like a normal person. I don't get it. So I wrote them I wrote them a follow-up, and I just went, hey, and basically said, I got a form letter from you, but that doesn't help. I've been on your service for over a year, and I'd like to find out exactly what's going on. And they haven't written me back yet. It's been 2 weeks. So I'll assume it was the holidays. That's what I'll say. I'm just, in my head, I'm chalking it up to the holidays. But my point is, maybe I take it off Stitcher. I guess there was no point, really. I just wanted to bring it up to the fact that I couldn't believe that they fucking stiff-armed me so fucking bad when I wrote them. It was like, I was so furious about it. Like, really, dudes? I hate this show. Let me go ahead and just say that right now. I hate this show. I don't know, we're 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in. I hate it today. These earbuds are fucking me up, and it's like I can't even concentrate on being funny. I know it sounds stupid. I know it sounds ridiculous, and I know you don't care. All right, and the last thing you want me to do, again, I'm not supposed to tell anybody that I hate the show, because then that convinces the audience that they're supposed to hate the show and blah, blah, fucking blah. I don't want that to be the case. But I'm just telling you, I am out of sorts. I want to take them out and broadcast without earbuds, but I'm worried then that I can't. I don't know how it'll sound. I guess it'll sound the same, right? But I like hearing myself. Hold on, let's just pull them out, because I just, that's weird. To do it without earbuds is strange, because normally they're right inside, I hear my voice right inside my head and I'm able to do that, but not having earbuds in is just, I'm so fucking mad at myself. Look, that's what this all gets down to. Go back to the beginning. You can hear the contempt in my voice for me. I hate myself that I forgot my earbuds, and I got here and I sat down and I looked and I'm like, because there's nothing fucking worse than showing up and going, oh, I forgot that. I'm fucked. Because now I have 3 hours of work ahead of me without the one tool that I really need. Well, other than my mouth. I guess the earbuds would be the second tool that I really need. I need a microphone. Hold on. Computer. God damn it. Without one of the tools that I really need, without the 8th ranked tool that I really need to do this goddamn show, for some reason I don't have it. Motherfucker. Oh, God. I can't even do the numbers right. See how out of sorts I am, folks? I can't even figure out the numbers. As I sit here and talk, it's weird to do the show without earbuds. Holy shit. Did I do it remember when the cans failed? Did I take them off then? I think I actually wore the cans even then, didn't I? Yeah. Fuck, even when the cans weren't working, they were kind of in and out, I still wore the headphones because I wanted to play the role. Just in case, I guess, some fan wandered by and took a peek in our studio. I don't know if we have like the Today Stow. We're in a big plexiglass studio. The Today Stow? I think I said the Today Stow. Holy shit. So... I'm out of sorts. I got a fucking thick mouthful of protein shake. I got fake earbuds. This is an awful grim. I want to dial it up and start again, right? Don't I? What are you looking at? You looking at the earbuds there?
I don't know where the bigger things are.
It's not your fault. It's my fault. It's my fault for leaving them at home. But I'm infuriated now. I'm so angry at myself because it puts me out of sorts. And I knew I have this is an important show today, folks. This is very important. This isn't important at all. It's a fucking podcast. Why would that be important? There's nothing important about it. It's important to me. Oh, please, don't kid yourselves. It's the only fucking good, important thing that I have to do during the week in my life. That was a lot of words jammed into one sentence there. That seems strange. All right, I have to tell you this. Because so Christmas came, and I got my wife some stuff that was nice. And I bought her fragrance. Like, she likes this fragrance called Flower Bomb. I've told you about this. I've talked about this before. But again, all right, but, just the fact that I'm telling you now a year later should show you how nothing's changed. And what the... And why I'm so fucking mad about it. My wife, after Christmas, literally like the 26th, might have been the 27th, my wife comes home she went to the Goodwill store to drop something off, all right? Now, she went to drop something off, which is fine. Because anything that gets shit out of my house, I'm all for it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what it is, as long as, and this is important, it's not mine. Stop grabbing shit that's mine and going, hey, I'm going to take this to Goodwill. No, you're not. That's mine. You want to bring any of your bullshit to Goodwill? That's fine. How about any of those books you've never read or any of this other bullshit? Get rid of it. That's fine. If you want to clear space out, take your stuff to Goodwill. Hey, there's a flank steak in the fridge. Why don't you drag that over there, motherfucker? Because I'll tell you what, I got no use for it. Bring a flank steak to Goodwill. I'll bet they'll get rid of it fucking post-haste. Immediately it'll be gone. If not sooner. You want to give something to Goodwill? Absolutely. Clean out the fridge and get all the 99-cent produce out of there. Motherfucker. All right, so she goes to Goodwill. She grabbed my football. She's like, I have like 4 footballs. And she grabbed one of them. She's like, I'm going to take this to Goodwill. No, you're not. That's my football. Well, you have 4 footballs. Yes, I do. I want 4 footballs. I need them just in case 4 games break out. If somehow at some point I happen to be wandering down the street with my 4 footballs in a sack, because I'll often do that. I'll carry 4 footballs in a satchel as I head over to the park, and then there's 4 games. Literally, if I see 44 men standing in a spot and just kicking the ground and just going, oh, we don't know what to do, and I'll go, well, I got footballs for you, and I'll throw them 2 footballs each, and I'll still have 2 footballs left over. Don't you understand? I'll still have 2 footballs left over because that's 2 solid games. That's 11 on 11. Go at it, fellas. And I can sit there and call play-by-play, and just in case 44 more men come and get off of a bus, I've got 2 footballs for them to start their games. Holy shit. Let's do it, fellas. Let's get 88 men. I want one guy I want blacks and whites. I want piano keys. 88 of you out there on the field. Go at it. Ebony and goddamn Ivory. I got 4 footballs for all of you. Leave them in my house. They're mine. I feel like everything, and it's so funny because the fact that it was a football cracked me up, because when she went to pick it up, I feel now that I should just dive on it like it's a fumble. Like, she thinks that there's a loose football somewhere in the house that it's got to be scurried up and given away. Fuck, and I'm supposed to dive on it like it's a fucking free ball? Free ball! And just leap on it. And then Lou will come in from next door with a black and white striped shirt and signal Mike's ball. Leave it alone. It's my stuff. Just because you've already given away all of your stuff. But you know what's funny is she just does that to go to the Goodwill store to look around. She doesn't give it. I mean, look, she loves helping the fucking, I don't know, who goes to Goodwill? My family, in a time machine when I was a kid. She helps the poor, which is good. Good for her. You want to help out all the poor in this town and bring them footballs and sweaters, whatever the fuck. That's fine. Good for you. Flank steak. But The worst part of it, though, is that she then goes into the Goodwill store and like looks around for shit to buy, like to bring home stuff. And I mean, not, it's not like she's buying clothes or anything, but she'll bring home, like spoons or, spoons, that's a lie. She never brought home spoons, but she'll, whatever. She'll come home with something says she got at a Goodwill, like a lamp. Oh, she has this lamp that looks like a scallop. Oh, I fucking hate it. I have never been more angry at a lamp in my life. I'm serious. It just doesn't give off enough light. It's just that one of those, it like pisses light. You know what I mean? It doesn't radiate light. It doesn't light up anything. It's just like a mood light or like an atmosphere light. And it's got a shell. It's like I understand it's just for decoration. It's got 4 cute little wooden legs, and then it's got like a scallop shade over it. Like it's encased. It's not on top. The shade's not on top with an exposed light bulb. The light bulb's inside of a scallop shell. Like all the way around. It's kind of ridged. I don't fucking know how to explain it. It's a lamp. But I hate it. I fucking hate it. Like I want to fight it. I want to fight this lamp. And I got to be honest, I would fucking destroy this lamp in a fight. This lamp, because it gives me the weird scallop face, and it's like, ha, you can't touch me, because it knows mom is on its side. But one of these days, eventually, I'm just going to do the Hulk. I'm going to walk up and put my fists together and just kaboom and smash the fuck out of that lamp and just let it lay there on her desk. And she's going to get up and go, what the hell happened to the scallop lamp? I don't know. I think one of my footballs hit it. So she goes to Goodwill last week and to drop shit off. And I'm a dick. All right, I understand that I'm a dick because we'll go out to her car and we're going to go out and she wants to go get groceries. And then in her trunk, her back, like hatchback type space, there will be these plastic bags of nonsense. And I'm like, what is all this stuff? She goes, oh, that's got to go to Goodwill. But it's been in her car for like 3 weeks. Goodwill's not far. It's like a mile away. And part of me is like happy she didn't go because it means that she's not going to bring home a goddamn scallop lamp. But the other part of me is just like, dude, clear some room out in your fucking trunk if you want to go get groceries. What the fuck? But I love my wife. But anyway, last week, day after Christmas, 26th, maybe the 27th, I wake up and right when I wake up, I get up and I see it. Okay? I see it. I don't want to say anything yet. It's just sitting there and in my head I'm just like, maybe she's holding it for somebody. That's the only thing I can think. Maybe she had a friend stop by who happened to be bringing this and they forgot it. I have no idea. But I sit down and Lily's there at the time. This is when Lily was doing the taxes. So I got up and I threw some clothes on. I walk out. I'm like, hey, and I sit down by Lily. I go, how are we coming? And she's like, all right, it's fine. And we were making plans to go to dinner afterwards. Lily's doing hard work. And Karen all of a sudden just goes, hey, look what I got. And my heart sank because I knew then that it wasn't an accident. I knew then that it wasn't some friend who had left it or she wasn't storing it for someone. This was ours. This was now ours. And we owned it for no reason. Hey, look what I got. Michael, look what I got. And I look over and I'm pained. I just want to vomit. I just go, yeah? And she goes, look. And she holds it up proudly. It's a guitar. When I woke up, I saw the case. And in my head, I actually went, oh my God, maybe that's just a case. Maybe she, because my mom, Jesus. My wife likes funky purses. Like she'll buy weird things that have a purse. So I thought maybe somehow a full-size guitar case as a purse. In my head, I was like, maybe that's the case. I could, because then you get that for like $1. Whatever, that's fine. Good for you. Good for you. Because I think it's cute that she uses things like that. She has like we had a champagne thing a few years ago, and she turned that like the case for it, this wire mesh purse, and she'll turn things into purses, which is fine. Good for her. She's industrious, and I like it. But at the same time, the money you're saving on those purses, she then dumps into scallop lamps. It's like, what the fuck? You're not saving anything. So she goes, look what I got. And she holds up, it's an actual guitar. And I should tell you, folks, it's a really fucking nice guitar. Like, it's not like Esteban, like some TV guitar bullshit. It's not that. It's a fucking Yamaha. I mean, it's like a really nice acoustic guitar, and it's black, and it's shiny, and it's strung. I mean, it's got a case, and it's really nice. And she's like, look what I got. Yay. And I'm just like, why? Why'd you get that? And she's like, and the thing is, all right, Lily was in my house at the time. So I didn't feel like having the why the fuck did you buy a guitar fight. Because Lily's doing the taxes, then we're going to go eat, and then I got to go to work. So that's fine. So I'm like, all right. I go, wow, where did you get that? She goes, I bought it at Goodwill. I'm like, oh, okay. She goes, oh my God, it's an amazing deal. She goes, I went online and I looked up this guitar. This guitar is like, she said it was like $249 where she found it. I go, really? She goes, I only paid $50 for it. And those words, it was like a punch to the gut. It was like someone had hit me in the solar plexus and it knocked the wind out of me. $50 on a guitar at Goodwill you just spent the day after Christmas. When we exchanged gifts that we shouldn't have exchanged. When we already have a Vitamix on the countertop that I've been whining about for weeks and weeks. It just struck me as such an odd... Why are you... The day after Christmas, why are you buying something, especially something... A guitar? A fucking guitar? Like, if you're buying it as a gift for someone who knows how to play guitar, that's fine. But quit buying shit and going, oh, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to totally learn how to play it. No, you're not. You're not. Get a job. You're not going to learn how to play a fucking guitar. Are you shitting me? It's like she's like, oh, I want to learn Spanish. Good for you. Learn Spanish on your off hours. Maybe you get a job where a bunch of Spanish people are and they'll teach you Spanish as they're talking to you.
Oh my God.
I mean, unless you're going to learn this guitar on the job in a train station with a hat at your feet, I don't think I'm very interested in your skills. I was infuriated, but I didn't say anything because again, Lily's in the house and I don't want to turn it into that. And she's like, look, bling, bling, I just like strumming it with her thumb and that tuneless strumming. And she's like, I'm going to learn how to play it. I'm so excited. I'm like, yeah, that's great. And then she starts taking apart the case. And then as she takes apart the case, she finds there's like a tuner and there are a professional tuner. And then there's a notebook with a bunch of songs, longhand written songs and notes and names. And we see the name of the person. Look, when you get stuff from Goodwill, somewhere in the back of your mind, there's that kernel of truth that you are buying somebody else's failures. All right? I mean, face it, the only reason you're getting anything at Goodwill is because somebody wound up desperate. It's like a pawn shop. When you walk into a pawn shop, you are buying somebody else's past. And it's a past they had to give up on because they had no future. The only way that they could see a way forward is to unburden themselves of the possessions that were holding them back and try to get some money to try to keep a roof over their fucking head. That's all the pawn shop is. It's literally like, it's just a professional fuck in the ass store. That's all it is. Every item in a pawn shop is covered in a poor person's blood. So you go to Goodwill, it's the same fucking thing but it's even worse because they didn't get money for it. It was just them dropping a bunch of broken shit off. It's like, honestly, when you have that toy drive and then the food drive, you are essentially walking into the store and all your shelves and shelves at Goodwill of the pumpkin pie mix. That's all you've got in front of you. So she starts sorting through and she finds this notebook and it's got the name of the person. Now, again, if this is 1975, you see that person's name and you're like, wow, shit must have hit the fan for that person. Well, unfortunately, it's 2011. Now it's 2012. You could put that person's name into Google and find out exactly why their guitar was at Goodwill. So we're looking through the notebook. I'm trying to find the name. And as I'm doing that, Karen goes, oh, and there was also this. There's a matchstick recorder in there. It's a Sony. I mean, it's a nice, it's easily a $50 recorder, which justifies, I guess, the purchase of the guitar. If you're ever going to use the matchstick recorder, I guess she will as she writes songs. I don't, look, I'm being unreasonable and I'm being a dick here. I know I'm being a dick, but it's like, it's just crazy to me. Look, if we had unlimited funds, buy all the guitars you want and have a fucking control room. Be Eddie Van Halen. I don't give a shit. Get a bunch of guitar rack. I don't give a fuck if you even know how to play it. Just stack them to the goddamn ceiling if you got all the money to afford it. But if you don't have a job, what the fuck are you doing buying a guitar? And I don't want to make it sound like she's not looking for a gig and just spending all of her time guitar shopping. That's not the case. She works hard. She's trying to find a job. It's just, she's working real hard and she's trying to find a job, but it just keeps getting tougher every day. She wants to do her part because deep down in her heart. All right. So she pulls out the Matchstick recorder and she's like, and she hits play, and I hear when she hits play, her voice comes out of it. And so she's like talking, and she's like, yeah, I don't think there's anybody on it, but it's like, but the thing is, she doesn't know how to use a Matchstick recorder. Particularly these, I used to do it when I was doing stand up on the road. There's 4 different files. Like there's one file, whatever. You can click the lever over and hear what's in the 4 different folders. So you can record a lecture on one and then something else on another. It's built for that. So there's actual storage in there. So we're on folder 4, and that's where Karen's voice is. But then I flip over to folder 3, nothing. Folder 2, nothing. I go to folder 1, and there's 9 files on folder 1. So I hit play, and we hear the ghost of the woman who had to give away the guitar as she's writing songs, and she's reciting lyrics into the actual into the recorder, the Matchstick recorder, and then she sings a song with another guy, and they're playing their guitars and they're doing their acoustic bits, and then they, on the next one, she starts just kind of reciting song lyrics and then talking about her day. And I mean, dude, that's creepy Amityville horror bullshit. I mean, that's just straight up, I've got my head in somebody else's life nonsense. That's just how it is. So I mean, I'm sitting there listening to it, and Karen comes walking out of the restroom, and I just hold it up, and she starts to hear it. She's like, oh my God, did you find something? And I'm like, yes, I did. It's horrifying. I don't want to listen to it. But of course we did, and we heard this girl's name. And then we look in the notebook, and as she's talking, she mentions the date December 21st. She's like, it's December 21st, and then in the notebook there was a page that said December 21st, and it had a song, and then it had her writing notes to her friend, and then talking about her boyfriend, and like penning these really heartfelt, how could you do that to me? Why would you leave? I don't know why you left. Types of, treatises, and so that's December 21st. Now this is December 26th at my house, or 27th. No, it's the 29th, right? Did you come Thursday? Yeah. It was the 29th. So this is a week after that, and the guitar, the recorder, and everything is in my fucking house. So I don't know so I'm trying to figure out what happened. Like, she died, or the guy killed her, or they just broke up. And like I said, I'm incapable now of looking at this guitar as a great score. All right. I don't think $49 for this guitar is a good buy anymore. I think it's horrible. I think you've just fucking driven a pitchfork into the back of this girl's life. So immediately, of course, I find her name, and we go online and we Google it, and we find her on Facebook. And unfortunately, she's got that new timeline bullshit, so I can't even be bothered to try to figure that stuff out. Way to go, Zuckerberg. I don't know, if you were just deciding, hey, I don't want 40-year-olds to use fucking Facebook anymore, you found the perfect elixir for it. Because I cannot make heads or fucking tails out of the new Facebook with the you know why? Because they turned it into MySpace. I hated MySpace. Yeah. I was on MySpace reluctantly, and then when I saw Facebook, I'm like, oh my God, look at the clean interface here. I actually don't mind doing this. And then you muck it up and turn it into fucking MySpace? Are you shitting me, Zuckerberg? You know what he should do? He should take this new Facebook down to Goodwill. Give it away. Just fucking leave it on a shelf there. Someone will grab it. Go back to the old one, dumb fuck. All right, but look, and he's not the dumb fuck. All right, he's got billions of dollars. I'm the dumb fuck because I can't figure it out. I get that, okay? But still, I hate it. I can't stand the new one. But that's what she has. She has the new one, this girl. I won't say her name. Not that you're going to know. But then because it was the same address, because it had an address in the book. Not physical address, but I mean the same city. And I saw like 2 pictures of her, and I'm like, but I was waiting to see if there was some online tribute to her that she was dead. Like, I Googled her. All I found was her Facebook page. I didn't see a Twitter feed. But it distracted me for the time being from the fact that my wife had laid out $50 for this motherfucking guitar. So we monkeyed around with the Matchstick recorder. We found her on Facebook, and then Lily finished the taxes. Oh, and by the way, when I say Lily finished the taxes, she did not finish the taxes yet. She's got like 9 trips over to come over and do my taxes because I don't keep very good records, apparently, I think. That's not on me, right? It is on me? I didn't think it was bad. It is on me?
No, it's not on you.
Oh, okay. Well, say that out loud because people can't hear your head shake.
It's on the fact that there was too much to do in one.
Well, sure. Yeah, so now you're coming over for a 3rd time this week, actually. Yeah. So that'll be fine. Yeah. But I mean, it's past the 1st, so I'm going to get docked and penalized and all that bullshit. Yes, I will. That guy yelled at me last year.
January 30th.
Well, I don't know. That guy yelled at me last year for some bullshit.
Yes, but he yelled at you not for this.
You're coming with me to see him
I will
this year.
come with you to
Yay!
Hermischel or whatever his name is.
I can't say his name, but he's mean. All right. So Lily finishes sort of that section of the taxes. And then we were going to bring Lily to dinner. And
Wait, let me clarify. I'm doing the bookkeeping.
yes.
So I'm having to enter every PayPal donation one by
Wait a minute.
one.
Wait a minute. Well, there were only 11 all year. And secondly, you seem to think that
There
people
were
are going
12
to...
months.
I don't know what you think people think now. Are they at home now going, oh, Lily doesn't know how to do taxes?
Well, no, I don't do taxes. I do
Right.
all the accounting for the taxes, but I have
Again.
to reconcile all of the
Yes.
PayPal.
Fine, but why?
And
What do you
all-
care what people think?
Well, because it's not like it's 5 minutes for each month.
I
It's
wasn't
like 3
disparaging
hours
you.
per month. Okay.
I'm not disparaging you. I'm happy you're helping me.
Okay.
And I'm paying you for the privilege.
Yes.
And I'm paying you for your silence. So let's keep
But
it
you're
quiet.
not paying me by the hour.
Well, are you kidding me? The way you milk it, I couldn't possibly. You sit there and say, yeah, I'm allergic to heat. I need to lie down.
I didn't say I was allergic. Your
Yeah, she
wife
did. I don't care. All
So
right.
anyway, do you want me to
So-
cut off?
No, please. People are very interested in this. God knows people. Why is this show so long? I don't know, because Mike started talking to Lily like he forgot he was on fucking microphone. Mike and Lily had a discussion about stuff that should have been kept private. Of course. All right. So we decided we were going to take Lily to dinner. Well, we didn't decide it. We knew we were going to, and so she was going to go separately from us. So Lily took her car, and I, I was in the shower. I got dressed, and we got in Karen's car, and we went to drive to go meet Lily, and I was trying not to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. I had to. As we left my apartment, I looked at her and I just said, explain the guitar to me. She said, what? I said, explain the guitar. Why would you buy a guitar? Because it was an amazing deal, and I really wanted it. I know you wanted it, but there's no reason for you to buy it. You don't know how to play guitar. I mean, if you were buying it for someone who knew how to play guitar, that would be a different story, I guess, sort of. But why would you buy a guitar? Because, again, it makes no sense. I just, explain it. I just make me understand the guitar. And not the guitar in concept. I understand the instrument, the guitar. But make me understand the purchase of the guitar. And she's like, well, I really wanted it. I thought it would be nice. And I go, but you know where we're at cash-wise. You know where we're at money-wise. You know where we're at job-wise. I go, I don't understand. This is the kind of shit that's going to bring everything to a head. This is the stuff we've talked about. You know what I mean? And she and I, we're getting, and she's like, I understand, I know. And I go, I know, you know. And I'm trying not to get mad. I'm trying not to, because again, she's a grown woman. If she wants to buy a $50 guitar, why the fuck shouldn't she be allowed to buy a $50 guitar? Because I couldn't understand why the day after Christmas, when she had just received things, she needed another thing. So I said, we spent money on Christmas that was, earmarked for Christmas that shouldn't have been earmarked for Christmas. It should have been the bills or whatever the fuck. But this is why we always wind up here. You know what I mean? I go, I just bought you Flower Bomb. I go, that's, that set is it's not cheap. I mean, I did it on purpose. And she's like, well, I need the receipt from you because I'm going to bring that back. And I said, why? She goes, well, you're right. It's expensive. So I'll go ahead and bring it back. And, I don't know why she thought that was going to solve anything. And so I looked at her and I go, so let me get this straight. Flower Bomb, which is the thing that you love. I mean, it's this fragrance that you really love, and you've told me all along, and you really enjoy it. And so I get you a gift set, and I have it professionally gift wrapped by the guy and all this kind of stuff. And I make a trek I go out, and I buy you a Christmas gift that I then get wrapped, and I put under the tree, and you open it. And the very next day, you think so little of what the fuck I got you that you're going to bring it back to the fucking store so you can afford some fucking hobo's guitar that you found in the Goodwill store. Is that true? Is that Tell me, because I want to know, is that what you're fucking telling me right now? And I didn't want to get mad, but it was just like, that fixes nothing. You're telling me that my gift was shit. The thing I gave you, fuck that. I'm going to take it back because the thing I really want was this bullshit piece of shit guitar I found resting in an alley behind a fucking Goodwill store. And I had to give $50 to some fucking hobo at the gate so I could sneak it out of here. And the thing is, I'm not really mad. I shouldn't really be mad, but I was. I made myself get mad. That's, again, I shouldn't have cared. Because if she wants a guitar for Christmas, fuck it. There's your guitar, and just take your fucking fragrance back. I should divorce myself from the entire fucking thing. I should just, put my hands in the air and go, you do what you want to do. But it was just so fucking condescending and insulting to me that she would go ahead and say, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to bring your gift back so I can go ahead and keep this. It fucking drove me insane. Don't make a face. It shouldn't, because I shouldn't fucking care. I should not care. And so I just went, all right, well, fuck it. Take it back. Why don't you take everything back? Take everything that I got you back and fucking go ahead and get all the cash that was used for that and go back to Goodwill and buy fucking assorted pants or whatever the fuck they have there. Buy a dish, a fucking spoon, buy a cup, whatever the fuck, because you're going to need them when we get kicked out of our fucking apartment and we need to eat in the street. It drove me fucking insane. And look, and this is wrong. All right, I recognize I'm wrong here. I should not get angry. I should not lose my temper. It's not for me to tell anybody what they can and can't have. I shouldn't tell people what they can and can't do. All right, but at the same time, I thought we were on the same page and we were understanding things and we were figuring things out. And for her to say that was more important than what I had gotten her for Christmas, why the fuck do I bother? Why bother getting a gift? Why bother buying anything at that fucking point, right? Because inevitably you're just going to go, oh yeah, this is nice. I can bring it back or whatever. Fuck. And I said to her, I go, you know what? I'll just give you money. From now on, if you need a gift or whatever, I'll just give you cash. I'll give you a card with cash in it. And then maybe not even a card, because it won't be the right card. You'll go ahead and bring it back to a fucking store and find the card that you really like. 4 fucking words that never factored into this equation once. The thought that counts. Never did those words factor into the equation at all. It's just chattel. It's just barter. It's just, I'll bring this back so I can afford this, and I'll bring that back, and what the fuck? Why do I even bother? And again, folks, I recognize I'm wrong here. All right, I'm an idiot. If she wants a guitar, why the fuck can't she have a guitar? It's fucking awesome, because I think it's funny that she bought a guitar. Because, I think I told you, she also bought a violin. She has a violin in the house, and she bought a tambourine. One time brought home a tambourine from Goodwill. First of all, that means there is some band out there that is on hard times. Holy shit. This band has hit the skids. And they keep coming in piecemeal with all their stuff, thinking eventually they'll buy it back, not knowing that my wife is there just desperate to scoop up any musical instrument that crosses the threshold over at Goodwill. If you're in a band and you're thinking about giving your instrument over to Goodwill and making it, no, do not. Because it's going to wind up in my house, which is, again, good news, because my wife is going to need this guitar and this violin and this fucking tambourine, because when we're out in the street living under an overpass, she's going to have to be like a one-woman band. Boots, boots, boots. Strum, strum, strum. Yee, violin, tambourine. Flank steak over a garbage can. Jesus Christ. Over. It's over. It's fucking over. So I reckon I'm wrong again, because I'll tell you what, again, it's a fucking amazing guitar. It is. It's a gorgeous Yamaha. It's not some piece of shit. But to my wife, who can't play guitar, it's wood. You spent $50 not on a guitar. You bought firewood for $50. If you don't know how to play guitar, then it is honestly, it's the world's worst living room decoration. Unless you're trying to get laid in college, there's no reason for you to buy a guitar when you can't play it. Those dudes in college who just carry around a guitar on campus because they hope the chicks will come up and talk to them. Yeah, good for you. That's great. They should be at the Goodwill store buying a... Right now, there's a college kid not getting laid because of my wife. Somewhere in the world, there's a college kid who's jerking off, and it's because of my wife. It's my wife's fault that this kid has to rub one out on his goddamn tiny bed. Because he couldn't walk around campus like a goddamn Lothario, carrying the guitar case and the guitar of his dreams with a matchstick recorder to pretend like he's actually recording something. My wife has kept that kid with a fucking handful of cock and a heart full of sadness because she needed a guitar and was willing to trade in all of her Christmas gifts to get it. Doesn't that sound like a bad... Like, you know what that sounds like? A Christmas special that you would see on the way up to Christmas. Like, there's the year without a Santa Claus. It's like the year Karen gave away her gifts. That's like... She gave away all of her expensive gifts just to afford the one guitar from Goodwill. It's like a Dragnet episode or something. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You live in a 70s sitcom. You're buying a violin and a tambourine and a fucking guitar for no reason. What the fuck? So she's like, I'm going to take back the perfume in the car. And I'm just like, go ahead, do it. I go, as a matter of fact, because she got me some these bitchin' like Nikes that were throwback Nikes, like from the first year they made Nikes. And they're just Phillies colors. They're red and white. They're awesome. And I go, well, I'm going to take back my shoes. So I need to get the gift receipt from you. She's like, why would you take back your shoes? I go, because why wouldn't I? Maybe there's a fucking flute I can buy over at Goodwill. And I can join the band. I don't know. I haven't been over to Goodwill. Certainly, maybe. You know what? I mentioned spoons earlier. She bought one. Maybe I get another one, and I just put those together. Maybe there's an abandoned jug over there I can pick up. And me and Emmett Otter could join your fucking street band. It's worth it to me to get rid of these Nikes that are in the color of my favorite baseball team. Just on the off chance. Because, again, she's got a harmonica in her purse. She got a harmonica, a fucking violin, a tambourine, a guitar. Holy shit, can't play any of them. My wife's going to open a music store. Maybe that's her idea. Maybe that's the plan she's got for a job. She's eventually going to purchase enough instruments to open up a used music store. Holy shit. What are you doing? I guess her logic is that there's at least 5 customers who will show up and buy those things. Guys, great news. We're putting the band back together. Oh, how are we going to do that? We don't have any of our instruments. My wife just shows up. Fellas, have I got news for you? Oh, and she marks them way up. She better mark them way up. Knowing my wife, she'd just give them away. Nah, you fellas take those and mention me in a song. Jesus Christ. I don't get it. Why? Why? And again, I recognize this is all my fault, all right? I should not be this upset or angry. Nobody should ever tell another grown-up what they can and can't do. I get that. But Jesus Christ, could you use a modicum of common sense? Could you think for just a second before you go off and buy a lute? And that's coming. Anything at all. Anything musical, my wife's going to buy it from the Goodwill store. I guarantee it. Next week, she's going to come home with wax paper and a comb. Motherfucker. So, yeah, that happened. And still in my house. Luckily, though, she kept the perfume. So we just paid for the guitar. She didn't have to cover it with any sort of subterfuge. Nope, kept all of her Christmas gifts and the guitar. Somehow that's how the exchange came out. After we had the discussion about it, it turned out that she just got to keep everything. And I got to tell you about it. That was the deal. I think that was pretty much the deal. Was she got to keep everything and I get to complain about it again.
Hello, friend. I'm Representative Richard Martin, and I've spent countless hours lobbying the Jew-run FCC to keep programs like The 40-Year-Old Boy available to you, the filthy masses. You're welcome.
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy, and later, Takedown, the only political podcast that brings you the truth. This is Takedown. Takedown. I love this thing. Why? Tonight on Takedown, Sarah Palin. Tonight we take down Sarah Palin and ride her like a horse. Tonight on Takedown, we take down Sarah Palin's shirt and fondle her boobie. We take down Sarah Palin, we each grab an ankle and make a wish. Takedown. Oh, she's in studio. Takedown. 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 Take. Two political animals with an appetite for facts. Takedown on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
Governor, thank you for joining us.
I'm doing this wrong, folks. The show this week was supposed to be about something, and then I started to talk up top. And in my head, I was going to this is actually going to be the week I was going to try an experiment. I was just going to leap right into what I was supposed to talk about, and then that went by the wayside as I started to talk about other stuff, and I got sidetracked. And look, I recognize that there are people out there who enjoy that sort of thing, and thank you, I'm glad. And I like doing that too, quite frankly, because I don't not like talking. That's has been established, right? I think we all get that. But at the same time, it's an arduous task for our friend Lily, who has to listen back to it 9 times and edit it and take care of it. And also there are people out there who don't exactly care for the long show, and I get that. I understand. But all right, here's the thing. I might not I haven't decided yet, because I talked for an hour. You'll know eventually how this all breaks out. But right now I've already talked for an hour, and I'm considering using that in another show, because what I have to talk about is longer. And I'm only making it longer by telling you this, but that's fine. That's what I like to do. I don't fucking care anymore. I don't give a shit, all right? I like talking. I like doing this. This is how I like to run it. You know what I mean? It's like I can't fucking... Everybody else is streamlined. Everybody's like, you got to do this and you got to do that. No, I don't have to fucking do a goddamn thing. I got to talk. And when I'm done talking, the show's over. That's it. Actually, when you're done listening, the show's over. I got to be truly honest with you. Because, I'll still be talking. Fuck that. Even if you're not listening, I will be fucking talking. I think that's been established. It doesn't matter. I'll get loose and talk wherever the fuck I want to talk. But you guys, if you stop listening, well, then the show's over. There's 60. I just got the 60-minute mark. So, I don't know if the previous 60 minutes is going to be in this show or the later show. This might be the beginning of the show. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I like talking. All right? But again, whether you like listening is up for debate. So, I'm still planning on doing the Kickstarter cities. I'm still planning on it. I'm doing them. I'm just trying to get them scheduled and stuff. Still calling theaters. Thank you. I need suggestions for theaters. I appreciate you sending them. Some guy just sent me like 4. I will tell you this. All right, let me go ahead and clarify this. If you guys are going to send me recommendations for venues, I do appreciate it. Let me tell you this. We're looking for a venue with between 50 and 75 seats. Okay? Because I'm getting a lot of cool people telling me a lot of great places that are like 250 seats, 300 seats. Hey, look, I don't have a chance in hell of selling those out. And not only that, those rooms, they're prohibitive cost-wise. If it gets to be desperate and I can't find a space that's going to accommodate me, then yeah. Like in Minneapolis, I found that the Puppet House, and that was a barn. But I didn't mind doing it because, again, people came and it was great and it worked out fine. But as far as doing like a rock club with a bar, that's a little different. You know what I mean? It's like now you're asking them to cancel a whole night of really good revenue to put me in to talk to 20 of you, which I hope it's more than 20. I hope more people will buy tickets, but whatever. The bottom line is, if you're going to find a venue, and look, you're not the fucking venue detectives. How great of a name for a band is that, by the way? Holy shit. You know what? That's one of the reasons I can't book any of these theaters. The venue detectives are playing all of these theaters every time I try to call. They're on their East Coast tour. I can't follow them. The Venue Detectives. Holy shit, that's a great name. All right. So if you're going to recommend venues, I appreciate any recommendation I'll take and I'll look at and I evaluate, but we're looking for places between 50 and 75 people. That's ideal. And then I can go ahead and call them and hash it out. And like I said, I think I have a strong place in Washington. What the fuck? I'm supposed to talk about this later in the show, and I will. So I'm doing Kickstarter, as you know, and I put up the Kickstarter page. And on the Kickstarter page, it had there were various rewards, and yes, you'll get your rewards filled, and I'll talk about that later as well. So in the middle of the Kickstarter brouhaha, as I was still trying to raise funds, people were writing me and asking me questions about when I was coming to town, and then having requests because our friend Frances is going to overseas. She's going to France. She's like, I'm going at a certain time, and I want to make sure that I'm in Washington when you're there, so figure out when you're scheduling the show. And so I was trying to accommodate as many people as I could. So people would write me and ask me questions. Well, in the midst of that, I got an email from a woman named Brandy, and she wrote, and it said a bit of a proposal, I think was what it said in the email. So I opened it up and it said, hey, I saw on your Kickstarter page that you've got this thing to raise money and you're coming to the East Coast. Well, my boyfriend, Seth, is a huge fan of your show. And I would love for him to meet you. And here's my plan. I'm bringing him to New York for Christmas. And for New Year's. She's giving him the gift for Christmas. They're going to New York for New Year's. She goes, and I would love to surprise him by having you there. It would be unbelievable if we could do that. So I saw on your Kickstarter page that was at the bottom. It said that if someone paid for the entire thing, you would cancel the tour and you would just come to New York. Let me know if that's possible. I don't know if I really want to mess up everybody else's show, but let me know what you think. And I read that email and I laughed out loud. I was like, okay, whatever the fuck that means. I know it doesn't mean what she wrote. It's a trick. It's some weird bullshit. That's fine. So I ignored it, honestly. And I'm behind anyway in my correspondence. And I try, and as we all know, my OCD and my ADD make me answer every email. But my OCD makes me answer them in order. So I couldn't get to her anyway because I was already a few weeks ahead of her. So, and I whatever, it was a goof. That's fine. It was nice of her to say so, but who cares? So a couple of weeks went by and Kickstarter started going really well and it looked like it was going to get funded. I was excited about it. And Kickstarter did get funded. And like December, this was in the middle of, she wrote me, I think the second week of November. So 3 weeks go by. Kickstarter gets funded. On Thanksgiving night, I'm excited. I'm in Chicago. Come back to Los Angeles. And I get an email from her like December 2nd, I think it was. And she just went, hey, my name's Brandy. I sent you an email a few weeks back. I know you're real busy. It was all about you surprising my boyfriend in New York. And, you were talking about the Kickstarter page and I guess you got funded. So I guess that, there's nothing I can do. But, I don't know if you saw my initial email, but I'm glad if you did, you considered it. But I'm sorry that you were too busy to make it happen. I'm sorry that this didn't work out. Brandy. And so I read that, and it's, this is a second email. In my head, I'm like, there's no way she's serious about this, right? I mean, this can't be. Because she said, congratulations on the Kickstarter page. I wish I would have had the opportunity to make that happen, but I guess I can't now. So, shot in the dark, I figured I'd answer her. So I wrote her back and I said, hey, Brandy, I go, thank you for, congratulating me on the Kickstarter. I go, I'll be honest with you. I got your email and I didn't think you were serious. If you are serious, you can donate to the show through the webpage. If you go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and the Joe Business page or any of the pages, there's a donate link. And if you want to donate to bring me to New York, then to meet you and your boyfriend, yeah, I'm up for that. Just, go ahead and proceed from there. And I signed it and sent it off. And I laughed. I was like, whatever, dude. Because it's just ridiculous. I mean, it makes no sense. So I sent that off and that was fine. And I think that's when I told you about it. I told Lily, I was like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Some girls talking about New York is just crazy. So that was fine. So I sent it off to her. And I knew she wouldn't answer me, so she didn't. And I lived my life. And then started to plot Kickstarter and figure out where I was going to go. And then about, I think probably 5 days later, she wrote me and she's like, oh my God, this is so exciting. I had no idea that you'd even be considering this. So it's just, so I have to go to your website and donate. Do you know how that works? Is that just, is there a way? I guess I went there and I looked at it and it's through PayPal. Do I need a PayPal account in order to donate? I mean, it doesn't make, just kind of, I guess I'm just trying to get this all figured out so I can get it squared away. And, once we do, then I'll tell you exactly what the plans are. And I read that and I'm like, wait a minute. So she actually went to the website and looked to see what you would have to do to donate. She's serious? She can't be serious, right? So I said, all right. So I wrote her an email and I said, yeah, go. I said, I don't think you need a PayPal account to donate. I think all you need to do is use a credit card and you can go ahead and pay for it that way. I'm not sure how PayPal works, but if you click on it and just try to make the donation, they'll walk you through it. It's pretty easy. But I genuinely, I don't think you need a PayPal account to do it. Just go ahead and use your credit card and we should be fine. And once that posts, then we can talk about me coming to New York and figuring everything out. Okay, cool. Mike Schmidt, and I sent it off. And I laughed. Because that's ridiculous, right? I mean, there's just no way. I mean, I'm glad that she humored me enough to write me a third time and say that she was still excited and interested, but good for her. There's no way this happens. So a couple days goes by, and I didn't hear from her. And I again, like I said, I knew once she got in there and she saw the realistic side of it, and she actually saw what it entailed and realized what she was about to do. I knew she would bail and that would be fine. And she'd probably write me a letter like around New Year's and we'd all have a good laugh. That's fine. So a couple more days goes by. And so now 4 days have gone by and I was like, well, that's a drag. It's nice of her to have shown interest. So I actually wrote her a note And I said, hey, I just wanted to thank you again for being interested. Obviously, we're not moving forward with this, but thank you so much. I hope you and Seth have an amazing time in New York. Should be great. And, thanks again, Mike. And I sent that off, and I laughed to myself because, an hour later, I get an email from her. No! Oh my God, no, I'm just still trying to get it squared away. I'm trying to figure out this PayPal thing because I think I do need a PayPal account. And as soon as I get that fixed, then I can go ahead and make it happen. But right now I'm still trying to judge that. And I've got some stuff at work. I'm buying a car. And as soon as I close on the car in the next 2 days, I'll go ahead and square this away. It's just, I just need to do these things in order. But no, I'm definitely still interested. So, but now it's like December 10th, I think it was, or something. So I'm like, all right. Or no, it's December 8th maybe. So I'm like, okay. So I wrote her back and I said, okay, let me know. I said, good luck getting your car. And once you want to go ahead and make a donation or you want to go ahead and at least tell me what you're planning on doing, let me know. Fine. And I sent it off and I laughed. And I sent that in the morning because I had just gotten home from work and I saw her email. So I sent that off and I answered some more emails and I went to bed. And I woke up that afternoon and sat down at the computer and signed into Hotmail, checked out my Hotmail there, and then I have to go to Hotmail because that's my, whatever the fuck, you don't care. No one cares. So then I signed into Twitter, and then I signed into my email, and I signed into my account, and it came up my inbox, and it said, you have received a payment. And I clicked on it, and I had received a payment from Brandy for $6,000. And I laughed. I laughed my ass off. I went, there's no way this is happening. And in my head, I go, the only way that this is happening is that because her boyfriend does not know. Because the second he finds out, he's going to murder her. Because I am Brandy's guitar. I couldn't believe it. I'm staring at it. I'm like, there's no fucking way that happened. And so I opened that and I saw that. I'm like, and there was another email, an actual email from her because that was from PayPal. It was the donation notice. And then right after that was the email from her. She's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I just got the notice from PayPal that it went through. Did you get a notice that it went through? I've been told that it went through. So I just want to go ahead and connect with you. Go ahead and let me know what we're doing. And so I can get you in the loop about where we're staying and what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. Brandy. And I laughed. Who's that excited about giving me money? Couldn't believe it. Stunned. Literally fucking jaw on the desk stunned. And I should tell you, it was fun back and forthing with her all the time. But now it's like I said, it's like December 12th, or no, it's the 10th or the 11th. I don't fucking know. But we're going back and forth, and it's all well and good. But the second I see that money, and I laugh to myself, and then I see her note in my head, I just go, oh no. I actually have to go to New York and hang out with strangers. That's fucking unheard of.
Oh my God.
I don't want to go to New York and hang out with people I know.
Oh my God.
Literally people I've never met, and one of them doesn't fucking know I'm coming. What if I show up and she's like, oh, completely misread him and he only likes the show, barely. And then she introduces me and he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Hey, I'm your friend for the weekend. I'm Richard Pryor in The Toy. Brandy's like, I want that black guy for the weekend. And Jackie Gleason bought me. So holy shit, this is happening now. I'm like, oh no. So Brandy includes her phone number, which means I actually have to speak with her now. And you guys, you know me. I don't want to talk to Lily on the phone. So I get her phone number, and I know I've got to call. See, because essentially I'm like I said, she owns me now. And part of me is like trying to figure out what the fuck's going to happen. Like I don't even think this is real. Like I'm just going to go to New York and I'm going to meet them, and then I'm going to wake up in the morning in the bathtub with my kidney gone, right? That's got to be what's happening. I wake up in a bathtub filled with ice and just a note on the mirror that says, "Thanks for the kidney, Mike. You can get your kidney at WeStoleYourKidney.com." So I call Brandy, because again I don't know anything about her. Look, when when my wife bought the guitar, we immediately Googled the woman to find out, but I didn't Google Brandy, like because again I didn't think this was real. I never thought this was gonna fucking happen. So I call her, and she answers the phone, and she's very nice. And I should tell you, I start talking to her, and I realize she is young. Certainly compared to me, young. So I call her, and I go, "Hey, everything is hi, Brandy?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I go, "Hi, this is Mike Schmidt." And she's like, "Oh, hi. Is everything okay? Did everything go through all right?" I go, "Yeah. I don't know why or how, but yes, it has." And she was like, "Great. I'm so excited. This is going to be so amazing. You're going to be such a surprise for him." And I said, "Oh, okay, good. So I guess I'm touching base on what we're doing and what you need me to do." And she's like, "Oh," she goes, "Well, you know what? I'll send you an email and tell you where we're staying. We're staying at the W Hotel, and I'll give you the address. And, I want you to start thinking about like how you can surprise him." And I said, "Oh, he's going to be fucking surprised." He couldn't be more surprised if I leaped out of the building and kicked him in the face like Superman. He's going to be stunned. And she's like, "All right, well, he's going to be so excited to see you, and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait." And I said, "All right, well, you send me the information." So I go, because we're looking at now, it's like the middle of December. I go, and it's New Year's Eve in New York. I mean, it's going to be crazy. Like, you understand that, right? And she's like, "Oh, well, yeah, I know. We already have our rooms at the W, so that's fine, or our room at the W." And I said, "Okay, I'll start looking." So she then sends me the address for the W, and they're staying at the W in the financial district. So I'm like, "All right, well, it's time to go ahead and take a look at what we're doing." I go to the W Hotel site and I look, and it wasn't bad, honestly, for New Year's Eve. I was really surprised. It was only $569 a night. And she wants me there for Thursday, Friday. Or no, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it's a 4-day weekend in New York. I have to buy airfare. I have to buy hotel. And then I have to do whatever they're going to do. So she sends me an email. She's like, "We're at the W," and I look for the room and I don't find it. A couple days go by and I wind up getting her on the phone, and I said, "Hey, so what do you want from me? Like, what are we doing? Is there anything we're doing?" She's like, "All right, well, look, here's the itinerary that we have so far." She goes, "The only thing that we have planned is on Friday night." Was it Friday night? Because yeah, okay. On Friday night, we are going to a cooking class. And you're welcome to come to that if you want to. That would be really fun. And I said, "A cooking class? Like, what is that?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're going to a cooking class." And I go, "Well, but who?" And she goes, "Well, Seth and I, we started watching this show with a guy called the Cake Boss." And I'm just like, "I'm in. I am fucking in." She goes, well, what it is, it's a class where they teach you how to bake and how to make a cake and actually design a wedding cake and put fondant on it and all. And I go, fuck it, I'm in. Absolutely. She goes, really? You would want to do something like that? I go, how do I not want to do something like that? Fucking Cake Boss? Because I will tell you this. Here's my history with the Cake Boss. I don't have a history with the Cake Boss at all. I know nothing about him except for Paul F. Tompkins' impression of him. And that's enough to get me in the room with the Cake Boss. Cake Boss. It's like this ridiculous. I would hear Paul do it. It would make me laugh every time to the point where I finally went, I have to tape the show to see if it's even close. So I taped the Cake Boss show and I watched fucking 10 minutes of it. And I saw this Buddy Valastro, whatever the fuck his name is, DeCastro, I don't even know. And I just went, I can't believe how good Paul's impression is of him. Because Paul's impression is ridiculous. It's over the top ridiculous. But then you watch the guy and you're like, yeah, I can see the kernel of this guy and what Paul does. So I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'm in. I have to go to the cooking class with the Cake Boss. So she's like, all right, well, you need to go onto their website and buy a ticket and stuff. And so we're definitely going to do that. And another thing that we're doing is we want to go to, we're going to Phantom on Broadway on Sunday night. And I go, well, do you want me to go to that? She's like, well, oh my God, yeah. If you would want to do that, I'm like, well, you own me. Tell me what to do. I'm directionless. I'm rudderless. Okay. I'm your pet for the week. Point me in the right direction. Show me a hydrant so I can take a leak. I mean, let's do this. Tell me what the fuck I'm doing. So now I'm a little worried that she keeps saying, oh, would you want to do that? Well, what am I supposed to say? No, I don't want to do any of this. I'm going to come to town and say hello to Seth and then leave. You paid for me. But again, she's young and it's awkward. She doesn't know me and doesn't know anything about me. Because again, Seth listens to the show. I don't know if she even listens. She said Seth is such a fan. She's never said, I really like you. She just said, where do I send this money? So I'm like, okay. I go, well, yeah, I would go to Phantom. She's like, well, we already bought tickets. So you'll have to go online and try to find a ticket and stuff. And also the cooking classes, same thing. We bought the tickets. If you want to go and find them, here's the website. I said, all right, good. I'll get that arranged and I'll try to find a room and we'll figure it out. So I went online to get tickets for the Cake Boss and sold out. Tickets for the clowns were sold out. And it pissed me off, quite frankly, because I had really kind of souped myself up to wanting to be... How great is that story? If I'm in the class learning how to make a cake, I mean, that's a good story, right? Again, I do that shit just for the story. And fuck it, the cake. Of course I do it for the cake. I need a whole fucking cake. If I go to New York, I definitely need an entire cake as a payoff. Even though the cake is a lie. We all know the cake is a lie. So I'm so pissed. So then I go to find Phantom tickets. And I look, and the thing is, she's like, well, you wouldn't be able to sit with us because we already have our seats. But if you want to go ahead and find Phantom tickets, that'd be fine. And I said, all right, I'll go online. So I went and found the Phantom tickets, and they were prohibitive because it's Broadway and whatever the fuck. But also part of me is like, well, I would want to sit with them. Well, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out the Phantom stuff later because it seemed like there was a lot of tickets on StubHub, a lot of tickets, whatever, that I could deal with later. But in the interval, I'm trying to figure out what else to do. So I sent her an email and I'm like, the Cake Boss is sold out and Phantom is also kind of iffy because, I wouldn't be sitting with you, but I can get tickets on StubHub later maybe. But is there, that's 2 things in 4 days. Like, I mean, are you planning on doing anything else? I mean, is there anything else that you have on your agenda that you want to do? Or, I mean, I need to know I'd like to have an itinerary of what we're doing. And so she writes me back and she says, first of all, I have to tell you not to call me during nighttime hours because Seth will be there and he'll see that you're what's going on. I have your number blocked, but it's still hard to explain a blocked number. So she's like, if you want to call me during the day, then that's good. So now I'm having an affair with Brandy. Before she even gets to New York, I'm going to ruin her relationship. But then she tells me, she goes, we haven't really planned on anything in New York. We haven't figured it out. We know where we're staying and we know we're doing those 2 things. That's what I want to do. If you have any suggestions of stuff that we could do, I'm all ears. I mean, I'm open for anything that you think would be fun or that you want to do. And I will admit to you that pissed me off a little bit because, hey, I'm bought and paid for. All right. So it's time to show me a good time. You didn't hire me as a fucking tour guide. I didn't think you did anyway. But it sounds like I'm all of a sudden now I'm Julie, your cruise director. And that's got me thrown because I've been to New York twice in my fucking life. And I know you've got the internet, Brandy, so you can go ahead and check it out. So I said, all right. So I start looking around for shit to do. So, the first thing I, of course, think of is fancy food, like a nice restaurant. Like I want to go and have a nice dinner. And there's all these famous chefs in New York. So I start looking around at like Chef Alex Guarnaschelli, and I look at Wiley Dufresne, WD-50, and he has no reservations. And I've got to find dinner. Like I figure I'd find a couple of fancy dinners because, we're going to the theater on Sunday night. And then, of course, Saturday is New Year's Eve. So obviously we'll be in Times Square to watch the ball drop. And then Friday is a space where I've got to find a nice dinner. So I figure Friday's the best spot to look for a dinner. So I start looking around for a dinner there. And I don't know what we're doing for Times Square on Saturday during the day. So I write her a note and I said, well, look, I'm going to look for a restaurant. So we'll have dinner on Friday and we'll have dinner on Sunday. And then I figure out on Saturday we're going to be in Times Square to watch the ball drop. So I don't know how you want to handle that. What time do you want to get down there? And anything else you want to do down there? And she writes me back and she's like, well, Seth and I don't really like crowds. So I hadn't really thought about going to Times Square to watch the ball drop. Let me get this straight. You're going to be in New York for New Year's. You specifically went for New Year's. And the one thing you definitely don't want to do is go to Times Square and watch the ball drop. Am I hearing you correctly? And she writes me back and she's like, well, yeah, but we don't want to go down there all day. So, maybe we could wander down there about 11:30 or so to see the ball drop. And I write her back and I go, there's going to be 1 million people in Times Square. And I need to tell you something. That's not hyperbole. That's not me pulling a number out of my ass and being stupid like, holy shit, there's 1 million people here. There's going to be 1 million people in Times Square. A 1 with 6 zeros. So if you're looking to make it 1,000,003, I don't think we're going to be able to wander in at 11:30 and see the ball drop and then just head home. We need to make some plans here. I mean, we need to figure out what the fuck is going on. And she writes me back and she's like, well, I don't know. I really didn't think about it. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. We don't like crowds, so we'll figure out something. And I said, well, what about the other days? Do you have any other, what kind of food do you like? Do you want to go to certain places? Do you have anything in mind? She's like, well, we talked to a lot of people here because they're from Florida. She goes, I talked to some people here in Florida and they've all said the same thing. Don't make any plans. Because you'll never stick to them anyway. So just go and whatever happens, happens. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, right? You're going to New York for 4 fucking days and you don't want to make any plans, whatever the fuck, wherever the wind takes you. So we're 3 feathers chasing Forrest Gump on a park bench. Are you fucking shitting me? You don't want to make plans in New York. But I can't do that. I can't jump up. I have to do whatever they want to do. If they want to sit in the hotel room and talk, I got to do that because they paid for it. Which is fine. I keep telling myself, they go, this isn't your trip, Mike. This is not your fucking trip. You're going, but you're a prop. You're a suitcase. That's all you are. So I'm trying not to get angry about it. I'm like, all right, that's fine. If that's the plan. So then I said, all right, well, what kind of food do you like? And she's like, well, we like any kind of food, really. Oh, my God, you're not helping. So I wrote back, I go, was there any food you don't like? Is there anything you specifically don't like? She's like, we don't like sushi. And truth be told, I'm fine with that because I can eat sushi in LA. I don't need to go to New York and eat sushi. All right. I mean, there's millions of restaurants, but there's Italian joints. There's plenty of food out there. They've got everything. And she's like, we don't really like sushi, but we really like Japanese food. And I'm like, I'm not going to a sushi bar and having you order chicken teriyaki. It's not happening. That's fine. Because And wait a minute, who might even tell her that? But again, it's not like she said, I want to go to a Japanese restaurant. She was just like, well, we don't like that, but we like this, but we sort of like this. Holy fuck, pick a side. So I go online looking for a fucking restaurant, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to make our dinner reservation for us on Friday, and then I'll make a dinner reservation in the theater district on Sunday. Okay, I'll find 2 restaurants, and that'll be fine. I know, it's going to be, you like Italian food, you like Chinese, you like all that. She's like, we like pretty much anything. Holy shit. Okay. But yeah, I really don't want to make any plans. All right. Fine. So I go online and I start looking for shit to do in New York. Now I should tell you, my flight, I decided to buy a flight. I went online looking for flights. Flights were $850. That was the cheapest flight. Actually, I apologize. The cheapest flight I found was on Virgin, and it was $679, which was decent compared to everything else. But when I went to buy the tickets, it was middle seats there and middle seat back. Look, I can't fucking fly in a middle seat. All right, I will pay the extra $200 to have the seat that I want. But as I'm looking around looking for fucking flights, there's no, and again, look, I'm paid. I've been paid very handsomely to find, I recognize you're all like, oh, what the fuck are you bitching about? You got paid, big money. Well, still, I don't want to spend all that money on, fritter it away. I mean, I'm not buying a fucking guitar here, folks. I'm still trying to fucking make it work financially. So I go online and I'm crushing numbers and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm crunching this and looking here, and United and JetBlue and Virgin, and I'm all these different flights, but they're all middle seats or they're aisle seats, and I want to sit, me, right hand side of the plane, window seat, so I can go to sleep. That's all I fucking want, especially going to New York. You know what I mean? It's like fucking 5.5 hours. Put me out. So I look and I actually find a flight on United, and it's okay, but the return flight is prohibitive. And then I look at American, and then I do, you know what? I go, you know what? I'm going to do what I fucking did when I went to Philadelphia. And so what I did, I used miles. I bought a one-way ticket from L.A. to New York on United, and then I used miles to get a free ticket to fly back from New York to L.A. Because when you use miles, you get to pick the preferred seats. You don't have to pay for luggage, all that kind of bullshit. It's like it saved even more money that way. And so I found a one-way ticket for $400. And then, of course, my free ticket cost me $75 for the privilege of using miles, you fucking cocksuckers. So there, I got my flight for $475. I'm like, okay. So then I go on looking for hotel rooms. The W is only, I put it off a few days. I get to the W, now it's $618 a night. And I'm like, all right. So I start Googling, looking, finding places. And I use the address of the W. Like I said, she's in the financial district. Okay. So I use the address on Google Maps. Look, folks, I know how to use the internet. That's the bottom line. I can push a lot of buttons and look around at a lot of things. And I put in the address and I find, other hotels in the area. And I find a hotel called Club Quarters. All right. And I do a little research on that. And it turns out there's locations all over the joint. There's some in Chicago, Los Angeles. They're all over. I've never heard of them. So in my opinion, I'm like, I don't want to stay in this flop house, flea bag shithole. But as I do the research on them, it turns out it used to be housing for businessmen on Wall Street, like traveling dignitaries and people who would come into Wall Street and meet with people would stay at the Club Quarters. It was a specifically targeted business hotel. But not really a hotel. It was more of rooms, okay? And they would be paid for by companies. But now they've turned the upper floors into a hotel. So I look for a room there, and only $269 a night, which is amazing. And then I look at the address. They're staying in the W Hotel, which is at 130 Washington Street. This Club Quarters Hotel, 140 Washington Street. And when I look at it on the map, it's like almost right next door to it. I mean, it's just kitty corner from it. So for almost a third of what the room cost. So I'm like, fuck it. I booked it immediately. I wasn't even fucking around. And I booked it. I booked 4 rooms at the Club Quarters. Gorgeous. Score. So room taken care of. Fantastic. Flight taken care of. All right. Now I just need to know what the fuck we're going to be doing while I'm in town. I know they're going to see the Cake Boss on Friday, and I can't go. And I know that we're supposed to go to Phantom on Sunday, but I don't know if I'm going to go. Because, quite frankly, that's Sunday. All right. I will see them on Friday, and then I will be with them all day Saturday. And I think I'll see them in the beginning of Sunday, but by the end of Sunday, I got to be sick of these two, right? I mean, that has to be... whether they paid for me to come or not. At that point, that's more than enough Brandy and Seth for me. I don't have any interest in. Look, Phantom. I'm sure the Phantom will cut through a little bit. He's like I'd rather spend time with the Phantom. I guess maybe that works because Seth and Brandy at that point. At least I'll be sitting separately from them. I guess. But by Sunday night, I don't want to fucking see these two ever again, right? So I'm trying to figure out the math on it. And by the way, the math is ridiculous. Again, they paid $6,000. Why the fuck am I even bitching about anything? I should do whatever the fuck they want. I even used miles. I got half price plane ticket, half price hotel room. All the money that I have, I should be doing whatever the fuck they say. I should go to Phantom. I should be in Phantom for what the fuck they're paying me. I should have half a fucking mask on and at least understudy the motherfucking guy. It makes no sense because $6,000, ridiculous money, right? Ridiculous. They could have fucking flown here. Think about this. They could have flown here to Los Angeles and had sushi dinner with me, and it would have cost 1/6 of what they're paying. 1/6. They could have flown me to fucking Florida and to meet them and their families, and it wouldn't have been a problem. It would have been not even a third. Way too much money for me, but that's what the Kickstarter page said, and she wanted to do it, and then done. I wrote that Kickstarter thing as a joke. Never in a million years thinking anyone would even consider it at all. And I will tell you this, there were people who considered it. People wrote me and they were like, if I really did that, would you cancel the tour and come here? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Because I would still get people to fund the tour or something. You know what I mean? It was just like, it would work out. It would still work out. I was still going to play those cities. It was just, it would have worked out. But those people, like, there were people who actually considered it. And there were people who thought it was a joke, who knew it was a joke, and wrote me and said, I wish I had $6,000 because this is the funniest thing I've ever seen on Kickstarter. And I want to see if you would really fucking do it. Well, you can write Brandy because she knows that I will, goddammit. So I get the hotel, and now I got to figure out what the fuck we're going to do. So I sit down, and I'm trying to plan the week, and I'm trying to figure out what we're going to wind up doing. I'm looking for a dinner on Friday. So they're going to Cake Boss in Jersey. All right. It's in Jersey from 5 to 7. That's what time the class is. So I talked to Brandy, and I apologize. Let me say this. I actually called the Cake Boss people. All right. Because I genuinely I thought that would be an interesting thing to do to tell you a story about. Because I don't give a fuck about the Cake Boss, but come on, if I'm in a room making cakes with strangers, that's fucking hysterical. And that's my first impression, or their first impression of me is like, let's go make some cakes? Stupid. So I really wanted to do it, so I called Cake Boss, and they're like 10 dates are sold out. They're so sold out. It's like, how much money are they making at Cake Boss? Because it's $125 a ticket, $125 a head. So to make a cake. Fuck that. You know what? And thinking with the money Brandy gave me, we could make 60 cakes. That seems high. We can make 51 cakes. So I call the Cake Boss people, and I get one of them on the phone, one of the loud sisters. I don't know who the fuck they are. I said, hey, I wanted to take this class, but it says it's sold out online. She's like, yeah, it's sold out. They sell out pretty quick. I said, all right, here's my question. I'm going with people that are from out of town, and they already have their ticket. Can I audit the class? And she goes, what does that mean? Because I forgot I'm talking to a Jersey cake maker. So I go audit the class, which means I would just come in and hang out. I wouldn't make a cake, but I would be with my friends while they made cakes, and I would just be there. She's like, if you're in the class, you got to pay. I said, I'll be honest with you, I'll pay. Because again, folks, I'm playing with house money at this point. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll pay. I said, I would actually do that. If I came down, I would love to be in the class. I don't even need to make a cake. If my friends made cakes and I just came down with them, I'm happy to pay just to be there. She's like, no, you got to be a student. And if it says it's sold out, there's no room for you. And then it made me wonder, are you making cakes in a phone booth? Like, what the? We only sell 20 tickets in a room with 20 chairs, and the walls are very small. They only accommodate 20 people making cakes. If you even have 21 in there, someone's going to get an elbow in the eye. We don't want you walking out of there with a face full of flour and an eye full of elbow. That's how we work it at the Cake Boss. So I'm listening to her. I'm like, I don't fucking get it. I'm like, look, I just want to be in the room. I don't need to make a cake. I'll come to Jersey and I'll do it. And she's like, no, unless you got a ticket, you can't be at the Cake Boss. That's me doing Paul Tompkins doing it. I can't, because again, I can't do him, but I can do Paul F. Tompkins doing it. there's the Cake Boss. This is Buddy, the Cake Boss. Sorry, I'll shut up. All right, so. God, it makes me laugh every time I hear him do it. There's actually a clip of him on YouTube I made Karen watch of him doing it live. Like at a live talk show, he comes out in the Baker's whites and does a fucking ridiculous improv interview as the Cake Boss. Awesome. So, and again, I don't watch Cake Boss because, you know why? I want to see people cook. If they just had, it was funny, I told Seth that, he made me laugh when I was in New York. I don't understand Cake Boss because I just want to see people cooking. I don't need to see anybody arguing about how to cook. I literally could have the sound down, and he goes, and Seth looks at me and he goes, so for you, it's more about the whisking, which made me laugh out loud. Yes, Seth, it is about the whisking. If there was a show called All About the Whisking, I would fucking tune in. So, sure enough, so I hang up with the Cake Boss people, and I get hold of Brandy, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I tried to get in with the Cake Boss, but unfortunately it didn't work. So I actually asked if I could just take a ride with you, and she's like, oh, she goes, well, we need to figure out how you could meet Seth. Like, if I get a limo to Jersey, like if you were in it, like if the door opened and you were in it, that would be awesome. Or if you were like driving and you held up the sign, Seth. That kind of thing. I said, great, I'm willing to do anything, but unfortunately I can't go. I just tried to get a ticket. I said, how are you getting to Jersey? And she goes, well, here's what I wanted to talk to you about. We're too young to rent a car. So I was thinking that maybe you could rent a car for us for the week.
Oh my God.
And I said, Brandy, look, I'm not opposed to that idea, okay? Except for a few things. One, it's going to be like $300 a day to rent a car in New York at New Year's. Second of all, you've never been to New York, as you've mentioned. She's, oh, no, well, I've been to New York, but Seth hasn't. And I'm hoping that it snows because he's never seen snow. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, really? You want me to rent a car and you're hoping that it snows in New York? What? Are you just wishing horrible? You're hoping we get stabbed too? So I go, oh, okay. I go, well, look, you don't want a car. I go, you don't want to drive. I go, I don't know if I mentioned in Times Square, there's going to be 1 million people, which means those people will have to be in the city somewhere the other days that we're there. So I don't think renting a car is a good idea because, again, it's like $300 a day and we're going to have to store it, which is going to be $60 a day, easy. I said, we got to do cabs and stuff. I go, but how are you getting to Jersey? That's the most important thing. She goes, well, I figure we could take a cab. She goes, or maybe I guess I could get like a limo, like a car. I go, that would probably be best. I think as a guy who's been there and tried to catch cabs, if you're trying to catch a cab at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you go, take me to Jersey, that's not going to work. You need to have a car set that they know where they're taking you. She's like, okay, well, that's fine. I'll go ahead and take a look at it. I said, all right. And do you have any idea of what you want to do on New Year's? She's like, no, I haven't really thought about it. And I said, okay, I'll get back to you when I can think of some ideas. But I do have a restaurant that we're going to go to on Thursday night. She's like, oh, what is it? And I said, well, I found a restaurant called Colicchio and Sons. Tom Colicchio is the head judge and the executive producer of Top Chef. And this is his restaurant with his sons. And it's kind of a nice place. We can go there on Thursday night. And she goes, oh, okay. She goes, what kind of food is it? I go, well, it's steak. And she goes, all right, we really like steak. I said, good. I said, but here's the thing. It's business casual. And she's like, what is that? I said, well, it means no ripped jeans. If Seth has a button shirt, make him wear a button shirt. And it means no like sandals. And she's like, okay, well, I think we can do that. It's just going to be weird because I'm still trying to figure out what I'm packing, what we're bringing for all those days, because we've got this different stuff going on. And I said, okay, well, just make sure you get a button shirt for Seth. And whatever you want to wear, if you want to wear a dress, that's fine. Or if you want to wear just a nice blouse and pantsuit, whatever you've got. I go, but it's just, these places don't fuck around. If you show up and you don't fit the dress code, they will tell you to leave. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I'll find a button shirt for Seth. That's fine. And I said, no flip-flops. And she goes, really? Yes, really. It's going to be winter in New York. And it's like, I don't even think she knew she meant that she said really, like really. I think she was just kind of answering it in a way. But I in my head, I'm like, you just said you hope it snows. Who's wearing flip-flops to New York when you hope it fucking snows? And then they're from Florida. In my head, I'm just like, do you just live in jorts all day long? And they probably do. They must. Because when I said button shirt, I can almost hear her furrow her brow over the phone, like, huh? Button shirt? She's like, all right, well, I'll take care of it. That's fine. I said, good. Just no flip-flops, no ripped clothes, and we'll be fine at Colicchio and Son. She's like, fine. So I let her go, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And it dawns on me, I am her father. They're not old enough to rent a car. They want me to come, so I'm a chaperone. That's all they want. They don't want to meet me. They just want an old guy who can keep them safe in the city, who can talk to cab drivers, who can speak to human beings and adults. I'm a translator. That's it. I'm going to translate young person to New York. New Yorkese. So all right. So I get online and I'm looking for what to do on New Year's. And on New Year's Eve, you know, there's parties in the city. There's all these different things. And then I realize, I Google it and I go, you know what? What about a fucking cruise? A cruise, like there's New Year's cruises. So I start looking for them, and they have these different, there's a ton of them, and they still had tickets available. And it was a little pricey, you know, I won't lie. It was $180 if you wanted to get on the boat and you get your party favors and your champagne thing, but it was $250 if you wanted to have seats and you wanted to have dinner. And you wanted, you know, and what it would do is it would go through the harbor and you would see the skyline, you would see the ball drop, and you would see all the fireworks and stuff. It sounded amazing to me. I was excited. So I get hold of Brandy, and I'm like, hey, I said, New Year's Eve, how do you feel about a cruise? And she's like, what? I said, a cruise where we would go and cruise the harbor. We'd be able to see the fireworks, the ball drop, and we wouldn't be in the huge crowd. We'd just be on the boat. And she goes, oh my God, I think that sounds amazing. A cruise sounds amazing. I said, great. I said, well, let me know, and I'll pick up the tickets. I'll get all 3 tickets, and you can pay me back when I get to New York, whatever you want to do. But just let me know for sure. And I said, the only thing is, we get on the boat at 8, and we're not off the boat until like 1:30. You know, it's an actual cruise for midnight cruise, so we'll be on the boat the whole time. But there's a DJ, we can dance. We'll have, you know, there'll be music. It'll be fucking awesome. And she's like, okay, that sounds really fun. She goes, don't buy the tickets yet, but just take a look at it. I said, okay, great. So there were a few that I was trying to narrow down. So I figure I got that planned. I got Colicchio and Sons planned for for Friday night. And then I start looking for a place in the theater district before Phantom on Sunday. And then I know that for sure at New Year's Eve, at least, we're doing the cruise that night. I don't know what we're doing the day. So the next day I wind up sending her an email. I'm going, all right, these are the cruises. These are the ideas. And she sends me back an email, and she's like, all right, well, what about the Met? Do you think that would be fun? I would really like to go to the Met. And so I called her. And I said, the Metropolitan Museum of Art? She said, yes. I said, okay, great, I'm up for that. Did you call them? She goes, no. She goes, I just think I'd like to go. I go, all right. You do know that Saturday is New Year's Eve, and Sunday is New Year's Day, which generally means hours are different. They might not even be open. She goes, oh, I didn't think about that. I go, hold on, I'll Google it. So I go ahead and Google it. Julie, your cruise director, gets out her keyboard and Googles it. And it turns out the Met is closed on Sunday. However, the Met is open on Saturday, but it's open from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. before they have to start barricading the streets from the hobos who are going to be out watching the ball drop. So I said to her, I go, all right, well, look, the Met is open on Saturday 9 to 2, but it's closed on Sunday. And she's like, oh, okay. Hey, I had an idea. And in my head, I'm like, finally, an idea from Brandy. I said, shoot, what is it? Go ahead. She goes, well, I think I really want to go to Little Italy. And I said, okay, that sounds fun. I go, when do you want to go? You want to go Saturday? You want to go Sunday? She goes, well, whenever we wind up there is fine with me. And I go, no, Brandy, no. We're not just knocking around New York with fucking knapsacks on a stick. I need to find out when we're going again. It's New Year's. You need to make plans. This is the closest I'm ever going to be to having a daughter. It is truly the closest I'm going to ever be to having a teenager who's just like, whatever. So she's like, oh, you think? And I go, yes, I think. I really think so. I go, I told you the Met is open from 9 to 2. And she's like, well, you know, I would love to have lunch in Little Italy maybe on Saturday. And I go, okay. I go, I'll tell you what, I will research a place. I'll find a joint and then we'll go. That'll work out fine. She goes, okay. And I let her go. So I get online and I start doing the best, search for the best Italian in Little Italy. And of course, everyone writes, there is no good Italian in Little Italy. It's a tourist trap. You got to go everywhere else. And that matters to me. It doesn't matter so much to Jorts Waring, Florida, which is fine. They're like, ooh, noodles, whatever the fuck. They're fine with it. As far as I'm concerned, they're just like, oh, what do they got? Spaghetti? I'm in. I could have opened up a can of Chef Boyardee and had a hobo walking up to them. They were like, great. And look, not that I'm Captain Sophisticate, okay? I live my life in flannel shirts and jeans, but still, I have a modicum of experience with real life. They just seem to be bewildered and wandering around. They're like, oh, we're going to get on the magical flying contraption that's going to take us to New York. And then we're going to see the cake boss. And the guy who lives in our internet is going to come and visit Seth. It's just like they're sprinkling pixie dust all over this entire fucking trip. And who's got the brunt of it? Julie, your cruise director. Because you know me, I'm a fucking control freak. I need to know what we're doing at all goddamn times. I can't just knock around, especially with strangers, because that might mean I'd have to talk to them at some point. Fuck that. I need something so they're constantly distracted and taking care of business and doing whatever the fuck they want to do. And I'm just kind of standing there nodding. So I get her on the phone again, and I'm just like, no, I apologize. I did not get her on the phone again. I went to research Little Italy. That's where we're talking. So I Google it. I find the 3 best places in Little Italy, and I call them. And I find the consensus 3 joints, and I call all 3 of them, and I go, hey, what are your hours on Saturday? We're closed on Saturday and Sunday. And I go, oh, okay. And he goes, you do know it's New Year's and New Year's Day, right? Yes, sir, I'm aware of that. Thank you, click. Call the next restaurant. We're closed on this weekend. Open again on Monday. All right. Call the third place. We're closed Saturday and closed Sunday. The 3 best joints in Little Italy closed. So in my head, I'm like, is the entire neighborhood of Little Italy going to be fucking closed for New Year's? Is it a Catholic thing? I don't fucking know if it's a Catholic thing. Does everybody maybe the mob all gets together and that's when they kill everybody on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day? I don't fucking know. So I'm like, all right, I guess we can still walk around, but there won't be anywhere to eat. I have no idea how it's going to work. So the next day I send her an email and I go, look, here's the thing. I'm breaking it down. I give her the cruise addresses. I give her the cruise times. I give her all of this stuff. And then I go, and also Little Italy, I called them and here's these restaurants that are closed. There, of course, are millions of restaurants. I don't know if they're open. I'm not going to call all of them. I only called the 3 best. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you want to do, please. So I get an email from her and she's like, well, this all looks pretty good. You know, I got to tell you, though, I get motion sickness. So I'm wondering about the cruise. Do you think that'll be a problem on the boat?
Oh my God. I love her.
You get motion sickness. 2 days ago, I said a cruise, and you went, that sounds awesome. Start looking for tickets. And then 2 days later, you're like, by the way, I vomit when I'm on the high seas. Do you think that will be an impediment to our good time on the cruise? No, not at all. I'm looking forward to watching you vomit off the side of the boat for 5.5 hours. That's going to be fantastic. Fuck fireworks. Fuck watching the ball drop. I'm going to watch your guts drop into the ocean.
Oh my God.
As if you were chumming for a shark. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, all right, the cruise is off. And at this point now, I'm in my head, I'm just going, you got to let it go, dude. You got to zen this fucking trip. I mean, there's no reason for you to worry about it. You can't complain about it. This is not your deal. This is her deal. But the problem is I'm the one getting asked to do all the planning and shit. And not really, but just generally, you know what I mean? She's not asking me to do any planning. She doesn't want to do any planning at all. I'm the one in my head. I'm like, I got to make a fucking plan. So here's what we've got so far, folks. We've got Colicchio and Sons. After they're doing Cake Boss on Friday, and then they're coming back to New York, and then we're going to Colicchio and Sons for at 9:00, and then Saturday we're not doing anything at all. I have no idea what the fuck we're doing. And then Sunday, we have no idea what the fuck we're doing. But the good news is they're going to Phantom on Sunday night, and I can run away. But she still, like I said, she wanted to go to Little Italy. So when I wrote her in the email, I'm like, hey, all these places in Little Italy are closed, which is, so I don't know what the fuck what your plan is, which is fine. So the next day I get an email from her. Oh, so I sent her the email. Like, all right, so the cruises are out. If you get motion sickness, that's fine. We'll figure something else out. And then she replies to that email, and what she says is, well, I really think your idea of going to Little Italy is a good one. That's going to be a lot of fun when we go. It wasn't my fucking idea to go to Little Italy. Don't hang this on me. It was your idea to go to Little Italy. I looked and the place is fucking shut down. Every Italian in the joint is off losing a war somewhere. I got nothing to do with that. This was your fucking plan. What kind of weird Jedi Florida mind trick is this shit to make it my idea to go to Little Italy? So that when we show up there and it's shut down, you can look at me and go, Dad, why isn't anybody open? That one drove me fucking crazy. Well, your idea to go to Little Italy is a good one. No, it's not. It wasn't my idea. It's yours. Sob. So she doesn't want to make any plans at all. And I'm like, all right, I guess that's fine. Whatever, you got your Cake Boss deal. That's perfect. So I write her back, and I'm trying not to lose my mind in these exchanges. And again, I'm not mean. I just am frustrated. So I write her back, and I just go, look, again, I'm excited for Little Italy too, if you want to go there before Phantom. But again, I don't think you read. I wrote to you. I called 3 restaurants and they're all closed that day. If you want to just leave everything to chance, that's fine. I'm down. But just recognize the fact that might be the case. That we might not be able to, and she's, that's fine. So I sent that email. And she sends me an email the next day, and it says, fantastic is the header. And she just says, oh, I hope you're as excited as I am. This is going to be really fun. I just wanted to let you know that I have a friend of mine who's going to be in town there while we're there. And on days of indecision, it might be perfect to call him and let him decide what we're going to do and get him involved so we can go ahead and hang out with him. And at that point, I almost wanted to just mail her a check for $6,000. As if the 3 of us aren't having enough, or the 2 of us, Seth's not involved. It's going to be bad enough when we introduce Seth into the equation when he's like, well, I don't want to do any of this stuff. But now some mystery dude that she doesn't even give me his name. A friend of mine is going to be in town, and I thought on days of indecision it'd be perfect to call him. Really? So we're going to call him every day that we're in town? Because that's all we have, are days of indecision. You don't want to do anything except make a cake. And then watch a guy in a mask yell at a woman in a basement. That's all you've planned for this trip. So she's like, we can call this guy on days of indecision. Literally at that point, I think I took a picture of a white flag and sent it to her via the email. There you go. Surrender. But when I saw that, I'm just like, I'm never fucking call. I don't give a call him. Call him. I don't even want to talk to you guys. I'm not calling some other new guy, because even they at least know who I am. Seth and Brandy know who I am. This other guy who's like orbiting the outside, who the fuck is this idiot? Oh, we paid him $6,000 to come to town and hang out with us. What? This guy's horrified. As if Seth's not going to be crazy horrified. You did what? And also, they're 20. Where did they get $6,000? What truck hit them? What bank did they rob? I know I'm going to show up in New York, and it's just going to be, like they were one step ahead of the law. This is like their bucket list. Is they robbed someone, took this money, and then they met me, and then I'm going to go to jail because I convinced them to do it. I'm the old guy. Obviously, jorts and flip-flops couldn't figure this out on their own. They had to get fucking asshat from California to be the mastermind of the operation. I'm going down. This is it. I'm either going to lose a kidney or I'm going to fucking jail. Or even weirder, like they want to have a weird threesome, like some kind of. Because like they paid for, come on, $6,000. Why the fuck else would you do that?
Oh my God.
That's all I can do. I show up and they're like, "Hey, you like jorts?" Oh, and I'm like Coco and Flashdance, just taking off my clothes. Remember the money? And then they got this weird friend who's going to hold the camera. Oh, awful. He gets introduced in the equation late. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm excited. Yes, I'm excited. So it comes time to leave. I'm taking the red eye. I booked a red eye because I don't like losing 3 hours in the air. And I should tell you this, I have all of Thursday to myself because I can't go see the Cake Boss. Friday. Yeah, I apologize. I'm flying Thursday and I'm there Friday. So I have all of Friday to myself. So I'm like, well, what the fuck am I going to do during the day? You know what I mean? So I decide I'm going to go see Book of Mormon on Broadway because, Book of Mormon's amazing from what I hear. And I want to see it there. Because I've never been to a Broadway show. If I'm going to see one, I'm going to see that one. And so I go online to get tickets. And hey, folks, Book of Mormon is very popular. Cheapest ticket, $420.
Oh.
And that's for the 2:00 matinee show
Jesus.
on Friday. There are cheaper tickets for the 8:00 evening show. But I can't do that because we're going to Colicchio and Sons, and I that's a dick move. Hey, I'll meet you there after my show. Dumb. And I'm there for them. I genuinely want to see them, even though I'm weirded out about how the fuck it's going to happen. At least for the story. I mean, I want to do it. So I'm looking for tickets, and I actually look for a few days. You know what I mean? And they never really go down on StubHub, and so I have to be honest, I decided against it. I was going to go see the matinee, but I could not justify spending a car payment for a ticket to a show, even though I had been paid to be in New York. It just seemed like such a bite in the ass to pay that much money. It was so huge, that amount. So I still didn't know what the fuck I was going to do all day Friday. So I do the podcast last Wednesday, and I got to tell you, I've wanted to tell you guys of this for weeks. Because I've known it, and it's been unfolding, and but I couldn't, obviously, because this was a surprise for Seth, and Seth listens to the show. So the last thing I wanted to do was betray that on the air. I couldn't do it. So, because then the whole thing falls apart, and I got to send the money back. Fuck that. I've got that at least. I know I've got that in the bank. So I do the podcast last Wednesday, and then I stayed up all night Wednesday. I fell asleep. I apologize. I haven't been sleeping well. I've been sleeping like 4 hours a night because it's just weird. It's really cold at night, and then I'll go to bed under like 5 blankets, and then I'll wake up and it's 89 degrees here in LA, and I can't get back to sleep, and it's warm, and it's whatever the fuck. So I haven't been sleeping very well. So last Wednesday, I did the podcast. Was last Wednesday Guns? No, last Wednesday was the podcast about guns. And then I went home, and I hadn't been sleeping, so I crashed. I actually fell asleep for like 4.5 hours. And then got up. What, really? Wow. And then I got up. You're very nice. And then I got up, and but I've been sleeping in those kind of bursts. And I woke up and I decided, well, I'm not going back to bed. I got up at 4:30, so I stayed up all day Thursday because I was flying Thursday night at 9. And I would just sleep on the plane. So I get up at 4:30. And I had to do my emails and Facebook and all that stuff that I have to do every week when I do the podcast. And Karen wakes up, she's doing her thing, and I've got to pack. I've got to run around and pick some stuff up. But there's it's general. I get weird when I got to fly, and I get hit really hard on Thursday with man, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. Because I hate the hassle. We've talked about this. I mean, when I'm there, and that's fine. I'll make it work. But it's the packing. It's the getting to the airport. It's the 2 hours. It's the taking off of the fucking shoes. It's all of that bullshit that I can't stand. And also the dreading of meeting two people I've never met. And because part of me wants to think, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to be great, right? Won't this be great? But that part of me doesn't last for long. Because then the other 99% of me is going to be like, dude, this is going to be a slog. I mean, just an arduous slog. And I grip because I don't want to let them down. You know what I mean? They're paying me a ridiculous amount to come out and be me. And I got to tell you, there is no greater privilege than to be paid to be yourself. But the only thing I can hope is that they're going to like me. You know what I mean? Like, what if in the first hour they decide that they fucking hate me? Like, that's going to be awful, right? So I'm checking my emails, and I get an email from Brandy because I had sent her the one where she had sent me about her friend, and then I said to her, I go, look, I'm excited too, and whatever you want to do with your friend is fine. And like I said, I'm still looking for tickets for Phantom, and I'm still excited to go. You know, I wish I could do Cake Boss, but that's fine. We'll make this work. And I get another email from Brandy, and it says, okay, great. Well, you know, if we're going to call my friend, that'll be fine. We'll hook up with him. And, you know, it's funny. I was really thinking that Sunday night with Phantom would be my time with Seth alone. So that might work out if you didn't have to worry about getting a ticket. So A, it's a good thing I didn't buy a fucking ticket to Phantom. And B, I love the fact that within just our fucking 15 email exchanges and our 5 phone calls, she's already decided that one of the nights she doesn't want to spend with me. She's already alerting me to the fact that, you know what, Sunday night is going to be mine and Seth's time. Really? Well, then maybe you shouldn't have paid $6,000 for the comedian to fly out from Los Angeles and hang out with you for 4 days. Believe me, I'm not trying to insinuate myself into anything. I'm only being attentive and trying to do the things you want me to do because you've paid me to do so. Don't think I'm like, God damn, I can't wait to go to Phantom with you guys. So she basically says, you know, she hints at, she was very gentle and nice about it, but it was very clear that she's like, hey, Sunday with Seth at Phantom is my time. And I was like, believe me, I was happy to get the night off. Good. I'll knock off early and have a sandwich. That's fine. So I'm up all day Thursday and I'm getting ready to go and I'm packing and then of course, I don't know. It's why not? Why wouldn't this happen? I have a huge fight with Karen. I mean, a huge, huge fight on Thursday night, to the point where I wind up driving myself to the airport and paying to store the car because it was that night. So it's like, all right, that's fine. And I get to the airport and it's red eye. I can't wait to get on the plane and fucking sleep. All right, that's all I want. I just want to sleep. So I park my car. I get on the Quick Park LAX, and I check my bag. Everything's going smoothly. It's United, and I enjoy the United terminal because they have different food. They don't have the Burger King, which I hate Burger King. I will never eat a Burger King again in my life. That's just it. I decided that's the one place for sure I will never eat. And because in the American Airlines terminal they have a Burger King. It drives me crazy. I hate it. I don't know why they built it with me in mind. I don't know. But the good thing about the United terminal, there's a Baja Fresh. So I'm like, dude, you know what? I'm actually hungry because I've just spent all night in a huge screaming match. So I'm gonna fill up on some tacos and get some sleep. So I get in line at the Baja Fresh and I walk to the front of the line. And I've been to this Baja Fresh 4 different times, and I am not joking. I've been there in the morning. I've been there in the evening now for a red eye. I've been there in the afternoon when I've arrived back. I've been there, and it's the same people working. Because I've flown a lot for the shows, so I've been in and out of terminals, and I recognize them. It's the same people, same 4 people manning the Baja Fresh. Crazy. And I get to the front of the line, and I see people at the front of the Baja Fresh line, and they're talking, and then they're walking away. So this isn't good. So we get to the front, and the guy's like, looks up, and he goes, "Do you want taco salad or nachos?" And I was like, well, I'm still deciding, actually. He goes, well, it's either taco salad or nachos. And I said, why? And he goes, we are out of tortillas.
Wow.
At Baja Fresh. Because it's late at night, I guess. And I said, seriously? I don't know why I thought he was playing a prank. But I said, seriously? And he goes, yeah. And I go, well, of course you are. And I said, I'm fine. I don't need anything. So I turned around and walked out. And in my head, I'm just going, don't eat, because I'm trying to lose weight, as you all know. So I'm like, don't eat. Don't fucking eat. You're just going to sleep on the plane. It's ridiculous. I just can't wait to get on the plane and sleep. That's all I want to do is sleep. So I go and I wait. And they start, I'm sitting in the United terminal. And they start calling passengers' names. They're not boarding yet, but they're saying, standbys and all that bullshit. And they say, if there's a passenger Michael Schmidt here, would you please come to the desk? And I am seized with regret because I know something terrible is about to happen. Am I getting bumped? I can't be getting bumped. What's going on? Because I should tell you, there's a bunch of people sitting down. But there's a bunch of people all trying to get on this plane. Like they're all at the front, and it's a big family. It's just terrible. So I walk up to the front, and I should tell you, I bought my plane ticket, like I said, and I'm in seat 23F, which is a window seat on the right-hand side of the plane. And I walk up, and she goes, hi, Mr. Schmidt. Thank you. We had to change your seat assignment because there's so many families that want to sit together. So I'm sure you don't mind if we let some people sit together in here. You're in 21A. And I go, nope. And she goes, excuse me? I said, no, absolutely not. And she goes, what do you mean, absolutely not? And I go, no, I paid for 23F, and I'm sitting in 23F. And she says, well, no, it's okay. You have a seat right here, 21A. And I go, no. She goes, we're not bumping you from the flight. I go, I don't care if you're bumping me from the flight. I buy the seat that I want. That's what's on the website. You tell me I can select a seat. I'm selecting the seat that I want. I want 23F. That's where I want to sit. I'm not even going to discuss it. Because again, I'm flying 5.5 hours. I'm not going to fucking sleep where I'm in the wrong side of the plane. You gave me the fucking option of picking the seat that I wanted when I paid. You don't get to change me. That's ridiculous. Then don't let us pick a seat. And but I said right to her. I go, no, I'm getting the seat I paid for. And she just goes, well, we have to move some people around so families can sit together. I go, great, move everybody else around. I refuse to give up that seat. She goes, well, sir, you paid the same amount as they do, so technically you don't get that seat. You get a seat on the plane. That's what you book. And I said, really? Then you shouldn't put the option to select seats on the website, because that tells me I paid for 23F. I have a piece of paper that says I paid for 23F. I have a receipt in my email that says I paid for 23F. I have a boarding pass for 23F. I'm sitting in 23F. I mean, I'm on the verge of getting an air marshal involved. I'm that fucking mad. You don't get to fucking move me. I hate the airlines. And she looks at me and she goes, why is this a problem? I'm giving you another seat. I go, it's a problem because I buy a seat on the right side of the plane to sleep. I can't sleep on the left side of the plane. I can't sleep in an aisle seat. I can't sleep in a middle seat. I buy a window on the right-hand side so I can lean against the wall and sleep. She goes, oh. Punches a bunch of keys and she goes, so all you want is a window seat on the right side of the plane? She goes, yeah. And she goes, well, how about 22F? And I went, done. And she just starts laughing. And she goes, oh, I thought you wanted 23 because it was like your lucky number or something. I go, no. I just want an F. As long as there's an F in it, that's all I care about. And she's like, oh, all right, well, 22F is just one row in front. I go, good, give it to me. I'll take it. Done. We're done with this discussion. And she's like, phew. And I'm like, phew. She hands me 22F and I go fucking turn around to sit down and some guy stole my seat, cock. But I was going to bring the fucking plane down. I was so, don't move me to 21A. Who the fuck do you think you are? I'm not an infant. I'm a chaperone. I'm a grown man. I've got kids depending on me in New York to take them to a shut-down, tumbleweed-ridden Little Italy. God damn it. Don't even think about changing my seat. Honestly, this 5.5 hours is the only good part of this trip. It's the only thing I have control of. Buying this seat on this plane is the only thing I have fucking control of. You can't take that from me. So 22F it is. So they start calling for the boarding. I hop on the plane. I sit down in 22F. I immediately put the armrest up. I'm sitting there. And people start filling the plane. The plane is full, of course, because it's full of families all trying to sit together, motherfuckers. Buy seats together in the past. You know what I mean? Don't fucking show up at the airport and go, duh, can you accommodate us? No, dick, we can't. Your kids are in fucking storage. Put them in the overhead. So I sit down. I'm waiting to see who the victim is who has to sit in the middle seat next to me. And this dude sits next to me, and he's Asian. And he sits right down, and he's like, hello. And I'm like, and he has a really weird voice. Trust me, he sounded exactly like that, folks. Hello. And I go, hi, sir, how are you? And I'm sitting in the seat, and I'm just waiting to sleep. And the armrest is up, and he sits down, and he goes, we got a problem. We got the problem here. And I go out, and he goes, this. And he points at the armrest, and I go, oh, all right. So I fucking jam the armrest down, which, again, makes no sense because my gut then just absorbs it into my body. And he sits down next to me, and he goes, oh, you go to New York, huh? And I said, yes. And he goes, oh, you go to New York? You live in New York? And I go, no, I don't. I live here in Los Angeles. I'm going there for work. And he's like, oh, he goes, I go to New York. He goes, I live in New Zealand. And I go, oh, you live in New Zealand. That's great. And he goes, yes. And he goes, I'm flying to New York today. We stop here and we go. And I go, wait a minute. You've been on a plane all day from New Zealand? He goes, yes. And I go, and now you're flying to New York? That's awful. He goes, no, it's okay. I don't mind flying. I like New Zealand. It's nice. You've ever been to New Zealand? And I go, well, that doesn't really answer my question. New Zealand's nice. That's why you don't mind being in a plane for 15 hours? Whatever the fuck, I guess. So, and I just go, and I said, no, I don't, I've never been to New Zealand. He goes, oh, it is great. You would really like it. It's very nice. Where are you from? And I go, well, I live here, but I'm from Chicago. Oh, I've never been to Chicago. I want to go there someday, but I'm in New Zealand. And he just starts telling me about New Zealand. And he's talking, and as he's talking, I reach into I have a hoodie on, and I have like a front pouch, like a kangaroo pouch pocket. And I reach in, I'm like, oh, that's fascinating. And I pull out my headphones. And he continues, he's like, oh, New Zealand is amazing. You should go there. But I want to go to New York. Now, it's going to be very exciting. I'm going there for New Year's. Are you going to stay there for New Year's? I go, yes, that's great. And I'm not even looking at him now. I'm untangling my headphones. And I'm untangling them. And he's talking, oh, yes, it's going to be a great trip. And, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And I look up, and the person in front of me has leaned their seat back. We aren't even taxiing yet. We're still sitting in the thing. He goes, oh, they're not supposed to do that. And I go, I don't care. I go, I'm sure the waitress will come around and tell him to fucking put it up. That's fine. And he goes, no, it's not fair. It's not fair to you. No space. And I go, I'm okay. It's they'll put it up eventually, I'm sure. And he goes, no, it's not fair. And he leans forward and he says, something in his language, Chinese, Asian. He didn't look Chinese to me. He was just Asian. He was New Zealand Asian, whatever the fuck it is. But I'm not going to do the voice because I'm sure you're all like, what is it? He's Asian. But whatever the fuck, he leaned forward and he just busts out like and I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. But he just, all right. He goes, wah, 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 wah. There you go. We'll throw in Charlie Brown's teacher for the Asian accent. Does that work? Because I can't do it. But it was that really harsh, literally like, when you throw silverware down the stairs, that really hardcore. And I look, and it turns out these guys are all Asian in the group, in the like row in front of us. So he knew them, or at least knew their language, and he chewed the guy out, and the guy put the fucking seat up. And I'm like, that's amazing, New Zealand. Way to go. And I was like, wow, thanks. And he's like, yeah, he goes, that's not fair for you. You have no space. And he goes, look, already no space. And he's like talking about my fat gut leaning into his seat. And then he's like, oh yeah, New Zealand is great, but New York is going to be fun. What are you doing for New York? And I go, well, I'm working. He goes, oh, what work do you do? And I said, well, I have a gig where I'm meeting some people there. I'm kind of I'm like a tour guide. I'm going to be a tour guide. And I'm unfolding my headphones still silently, like he's talking, and I'm not saying anything and just answering questions. And I get my iPod out, my shuffle, and I plug in the headphones. And he goes, "Oh yes, well," he goes, "I'm going to go for New Year's. It's my first time, and then we're flying back to New Zealand like the first week of January. I hope it's not too cold. It's cold now in New Zealand, though. The weather is the same." And I go, "Oh really? That's fascinating." And I hit my iPod, and he's like, I'm looking him right in the face now. I'm looking right at him. And he's like, "Oh yes, so New Zealand, it's the same weather. We have 4 seasons, but right now it is cold." And I'm like, "Uh-huh." And it's literally like, "So it's cold," and then and I just put my earbuds in my ears, and I go, "That's great." I can't hear. And he's still talking, and I just go, "That's great, New Zealand. I'm going to sleep." And I put my hood over my head so they don't know that I have my headphones in, and I just hit play on the iPod Shuffle, and I lean over and I crash. Because again, I haven't slept in fucking days, literally 4 hours in 2 days. And I just tuned him out. I couldn't even be bothered to just go, "Hey, look, I gotta sleep." I just went, "Hey, New Zealand." I called him New Zealand. "Hey, New Zealand, I'm going to sleep." I put my headphones on, I put my hood on, and I leaned on the fucking plane and I crashed. And I started on my odyssey to New York, which I'm going to tell you about next week. Because I spent the first hour of this podcast bitching about AT&T and guitars. So this week, the creature was brought against its will to New York. Next week, we'll hear what happens when it's loose in the city. You guys can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friends at Facebook.com/The40YearOldBoy. You can follow me on Twitter.com/The40YearOldBoy. You can follow our friend Lily Von Stupp on Twitter at 2 accounts, Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp and Twitter.com/MNTs. And if you want to write her a personal note so you can get her address so you can fake deliver a package to her house and see her in a tank top, you can go ahead and write her a note at lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Zazzle.com/40YearOldBoy. Please buy all his stuff.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. 10 o'clock p.m. is the time of the show, but you should get there around 7. And I happen to know the producer of that show. Her name is Lily Von Stubb. Hey, Lily.
Yes, Michael.
Hi.
Hi.
So last week's show was good.
Last week's show was fantastic. Standing room only. Great show. Wonderful performers.
Even the day after January 1st.
Couldn't believe it. I didn't even have a birthday party, and we were standing room only.
Awesome.
If 2 other people had showed up, I'd have been turning people away.
Very nice.
That's how full we were.
Sounds like it was full.
Awesome.
So this week is a very important show from what I understand.
It is.
All right, so tell us all about it.
It is my 4th annual birthday show.
Yay!
It's Laugh-In.
It is Lily Von Stubb's Laugh-In Monday Night Teas. This is LA's longest running weekly burlesque show. I don't know if I've mentioned that to you folks, but it is the tribute to Rona Martin's Laugh-In, hosted by Patrick the Bank Robber and Mr. Snapper. Red Snapper's going to be dancing. Venus Agogo, Dizzy Von Dam will be there. Chris Beyond also will be there in performance. Doc and Stumpy are going to be there.
They're doing Gladys and Tyrone Horny on the bench.
Oh, okay.
There will be an old man in drag in my show. I'm so excited.
All right, and then you are there. You are performing, yes?
I am performing, yes.
All right, so that's will the Laugh-In wall be built?
The Laugh-In wall will be up, and we'll be telling jokes, and we'll be having parties. And Venus Agogo, which is Alley Oops, Sue de Jour, and Panama Red, will be painted and go-go dancing.
Folks, I will tell you this. The show is great. It's fun to be there for Lily's birthday, and it's good to see all these other performers who I may have mentioned. But that go-go thing is like amazing. What is their name again? The name of the troupe?
Venus Agogo.
Venus Agogo is, because they're all hot. I mean, Alley Oops and Sue de Jour, and, of course, our friend Panama Red.
Panama.
Panama is back. So go check out that show. It should be a fantastic show. And bring a gift for Lily, by all means, because it is her, she prefers cash.
I prefer cash.
But again, as always, if you bring her a gift, you can smack her on the ass and get into the show for free.
Not a chance. It will sell out. Buy tickets at brownpapertickets.com.
Brownpapertickets.com are where the tickets are available now. I think there's only like 10 left, right? Or 15?
I had 21 seats left this afternoon.
All right. So I'm assuming they're already going.
It'll probably be sold out by Friday.
All right. So go ahead and grab some tickets if you can, folks. That'd be fantastic if you could. We'd appreciate it. Remember to go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com for all of your needs for Mike Schmidt. I think I have a web guy on the case. Which means the blogs will be up and running very soon, which means Rock will be up and running. All of that stuff should be being taken care of soon. Remember, you go to Joe Business on the MikeSchmidtComedy.com site. You go to Joe Business page, and you can go to tweakedaudio.com/40 and purchase tweakedaudio.com/40 autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds and cock ring watches. Those are available. I've had to use Lily's pink ones. I took them off, and I felt much better with the rest of the show. I was miserable early, and I'm sorry to have called it and be angry, but I just, you know why? Because it's like, I don't like things in my ears anyway, so my tweaked audios, I fixed them to where I tweaked them actually to where they fit me better. But hers are too small, and they went all the way to my brain, and I couldn't handle it. So go to tweakedaudio.com/40 and tell them Mike sent you. And well, I guess by using the 40, I guess you'll tell them that Mike sent you. Sure. Also, remember on the Joe Business page, you can go to the Zazzle store for mugs and mouse pads, and also you can go and buy the download sets, which a lot of people actually did. I was happy. I gave away some, but then more people have been buying them recently. There's the Lord of the Schmidt set, which I sold a few of those, which includes Year 1, Year 2, and Year 3, which of course is the Fellowship of the Schmidt, the Two Schmitties, and Return of the Schmidt. But if you want them all together, you can buy the Lord of the Schmidt set. Go ahead and do that, and I will send you the links. I should tell you that, by the way, if you buy them and you don't get a note, that's PayPal's fault, and I do manually send you the links once I'm alerted by PayPal, okay? Because I get panicked emails from people all the time as if I'm going to abscond with their $60. Also, remember at MikeSchmidtComedy.com, upper left-hand corner, there is a little Mike Schmidt, a little Schmitty with his pocket out for donations. You can make a monthly donation, $2, $5, or $10 a month. Sign up for that. Or you can make a one-time donation to the show. And if you do that, I will go ahead and mention you on the show. I'll mention everybody on the show who donates eventually. People like Michael M. Michaels. That's right, Michael M. Michaels, who is the co-host of the Return to Sender podcast with our friend Sandra D. Sanchez. That's right. Michael donated to the show to purchase Minneapolis and Chicago shirts for him and Sandra. I appreciate that very much. Go ahead and check out the Return to Sender podcast with Michael M. Michaels and Sandra D. Sanchez. Or you can listen to Michael M. Michaels on his solo podcast, One Good Wheel Radio, where he basically sits in a room and tells you what music he likes. It's why podcasting was invented, folks. Remember that guy who used to sit next to you at the bar while you ate pretzels and bother you with his annoying music tastes? Michael M. Michaels has brought it to the internet. Good for you, buddy. The Triple M. So they donated to the show. Thank you, Michael M. Michaels and Sandra D. Sanchez. And, of course, our friend J. Alex Briggs donated to the show. Thank you so much, J. Alex Briggs. We appreciate that very much. Our friend Elizabeth A. donated to the show. I don't know if she wants me to say her full name, but that was to purchase a Denver shirt. Thank you, Elizabeth A. And, you know what? This was a good... Our friend Jack Maxwell down in Florida. Thank you, Jack Maxwell. He's from Florida. Perhaps he knows Brandy and Seth. I picture him. He's down there in his jorts and flip-flops now, hearing his name and being all excited. So Jack Maxwell, thank you. Michael M. Michael, Sandra D. Sanchez, thank you. J. Alex Briggs, thank you. Elizabeth A. And, of course, Jack Maxwell. This was Jack Maxwell's second donation, by the way, to the show. And thank you, Jack. We appreciate that very much. If you want to make a donation to the show, as I say, go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and click on the little Schmitty to donate to the show. We would appreciate it very, very much. Remember that on Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy, you can be my friend. And not only that, you can go ahead and join all of the pages to bring me to your towns. Right now, there is a, like I said, bring Mike to Toronto, bring Mike to, oh, you know what? It's funny. I mentioned this early in the show, and I don't ever think I completed the thought because I got into everything else. There's a gentleman on the England page, Bring Mike Schmidt to London, who has offered to fly me there for free. I don't know what's going on with you people, but good for you. But thankfully, he only wants me to come out and do the show. But I thought that was pretty cool that he put that. So, I mean, that's pretty neat. So if you guys, if you know of London venues, I'm actually going to try to contact Doug Stanhope, who I've never met. I don't know Doug. I've only met him like twice. But he does this, so maybe, but he plays much larger rooms and has bigger crowds. So who knows? But regardless, I'm interested in a London venue. If anybody has an idea, and like I said, anywhere from 50 to 75 seats. And if I come to London, I'll do a couple nights, obviously. And someone wants me to come to Liverpool too. Whatever. I would love to make that work. And Toronto wants me to come, and Detroit. All these pages are alive. Kansas City, New Orleans, Tahoe, Indianapolis. These are places I'm going to come. And this Boston, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and Cleveland, which are the Kickstarter cities. I'm working hard on getting theaters in those places. And once the theaters are announced, we can go ahead and get that all squared away. And I'll be excited to come to Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. Looking forward to it. But remember, right now, February 17th, I will be in San Francisco, California. That's right, at the Darkroom Theater. Tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com. You can get them through the Facebook page, or you can just go to brownpapertickets.com and search Success is Not an Option. The Success is Not an Option tour is rolling through. You can also search my name at Brown Paper Tickets, but tickets are available right now for San Francisco. We've sold a bunch already, which is really cool. And it is a smaller room, so get your tickets early to make sure that we go ahead and have a seat. I was going to say a space and a seat, and I said them together. A spate. Have a seat for you. Go ahead and buy tickets early at brownpapertickets.com. That would be great. I'm looking forward to coming to San Francisco. Don't know yet if I'm coming alone or if I'm bringing our friend Lily. Still up in the air on that. But I will be there. Hopefully that's enough. And as I mentioned, I've been doing podcasts. I have podcasts that I've done that aren't going up yet. So once they're up, I can tell you about them. But one podcast I can tell you about for sure that I did, folks. I was lucky enough to do the Battleship Pretension podcast. It was their 250th anniversary show. Well, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on a second. Holy God. They have been on for a long time. They invented the internet. They invented the earth. That's all right. It was their 250th show, not their anniversary show. And it was lucky. I've been on a few times and I've done their live shows. Tyler and David are really cool guys and they're always nice. And I enjoy listening to the show, when I can, but especially when I'm on. That's always a key. And they told me that I was doing it and they were like, hey, you're going to come on. You're going to be on with Bill Dwyer. And I should tell you this, it's funny. I did Never Not Funny for a year and Bill Dwyer was on that show. And that was one of the shows where people started to kind of take notice of me because they were like, they all wrote me afterwards and they were like, were you going to kill Bill Dwyer during the broadcast? Was that going to happen? No, it's just that Bill, there was all of us there talking and Bill would talk a lot and not really trade. It was weird, but I love Bill. I should get that out of the way. I met Bill on on a show called Ultimate Fan League. He was the host, and I was a contestant. Like, he didn't know I was a comic or anything. And then we met in comedy clubs after the fact. It was great. And I got to be honest with you, Bill Dwyer is one of the funniest guys in the world. I mean, he is so fucking... you can do that all you want. Lily's making fun of me. But I was even more impressed at Battleship Pretension because, again, he plows forward, all right? Look, we know that. And Bill just plows forward. But he's always... I think he might have a photographic memory. I mean... I think I'm quick. All right. I think I'm pretty quick, but Bill is right there, man. And then and the only thing that Bill doesn't get is you'll hear on Battleship Pretension, he started a bit and he started to do it. And then I started to play along within the bit. And then he started to explain it to me. And I go, I know, I'm doing that. And he goes, oh, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're playing along or not.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, yes, I'm playing along. Exactly. But he was fucking hysterical. And like I said, I don't get to see or work with Bill nearly enough. So please listen to Battleship Pretension's 250th show. Tyler and David are great. And they just basically sat back and let Bill and I talk, which was crazy. But it was a really good time. And I hope you'll check it out because, I mean, it can be kind of a cacophony as we're all a little, smashing into one another a little bit, but it still worked. And just it's worth it for Bill. And then you hear me, and I'm there too. I'm kind of funny, but fucking Bill is hysterical. So check it out. The Battleship Pretension podcast available on iTunes now. And I need to go have some flank steak, I think. I don't work tonight, obviously, because but it's so funny. I was in New York, and I'll get to that. I think I'll mention. Did I mention I was in New York? But people started twittering me, and they're just like, "Oh my God, I hope the arsons aren't affecting you." And dude, listen, that is not a message you ever want to receive from anybody. I don't know what the fuck that means. I mean, I'm on a plane, so I start getting these emails, and they're like, "Oh man, oh my God, is the arsons affecting you?" And so I go online and I start to read about the fact that there's these arsons in Los Angeles in carports, and Lily, you know two of the people who it affected?
People who got cars burned.
Good Lord. And so I'm reading it, and I would write them back, and I'd go, look, I didn't know anything about this. I'm looking forward to going back to a pile of ash where I used to live. And then they're like, no, we thought about where you work because your job is to protect a carport, a huge fucking a car garage. And I wrote them back, and I was like, well, whatever. I'm sure it'll be over by the time I get there. But it's weird. Part of me was so angry that I wasn't here for that. I know, but I wanted to be here just in case it happened. Like, I would chase the fucking guy down, and I in my head, I already had the fight. What I would do if I caught the guy, and then, of course, I would set him on fire, right? Isn't that the first thing you do to an arsonist? I would fucking set him on fire immediately. But I mean, I wish I would have been here just to be frosty and just to be up. Because I will be honest with you. Every night at my job, I fully expect an arsonist to arrive. And finally he arrives, and I'm out of town, motherfucker. What? Come on. I've been planning for this for years. I've been waiting for the arsonist to arrive. I'm walking around. I am just stupid enough to think that when people listen to me and they listen to the show, they should take my honesty and go, oh, wow, how refreshing his unvarnished honesty is. And the fact that he's willing to have a scorched earth policy and have no friends or no fucking future is so refreshing and great. But then they'll say to me, hey, do you need somebody raped with a steak? I go, yes, I do. Done. They'll take care of it for me. Thanks, Snake Rape. Oh, no one listens to show, bro? Wonder why? Wonder why no one listens to show, bro? I don't want to listen to show, bro. Please. Fake rape. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.